Yo, what's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday. I got a stuffy nose, so I feel very congested. So I apologize if I repeat myself. My ears feel echoey. And yeah, man. Look, Turki Shiek had his ring ceremony, his award season. And trainer of the year was Robert Garcia. He had an amazing run last year. Rayo Valenzuela upsetting Pitbull Cruz. He had his boy Bam Rodriguez beating Sonny Edwards. And those are just the two more notable fights, right? Virgil Ortiz, and the list goes on. So trainer of the year goes to Robert Garcia. And female fighter of the year goes to Gabriela Fondora. Shout out to those fighters and trainers that did amazing things this year. Had amazing runner-ups. And I think to myself, I know the WBC has had their conventions in past years, but shout out to Turki Shiek for doing it already and making a splash. Of course, this is promotion for his takeover, his new ownership of the Ring magazine. So this was promotion for that as well. And an amazing gathering. This is what Dougie Fisher, the main editor of the Ring magazine, PDF, online article, and Golden Boy should have been doing. See, one of the things that I remember about Oscar De La Hoya when he was down and out, he wanted to start his own Ring magazine or Ring boxing channel, his own broadcasting service. He should have done that. You produce and you own your own content, Oscar. And he got a little lazy. Oscar De La Hoya got a little lazy. And Turki Shiek, he means strict business. Everything that we wanted or anything that we've been asking for, unification, undisputed matches, possibly even universal health care or like a pension for fighters. I think Turki Shiek is that person, that front runner to actually get a lot of these things done. So shout out to Turki Shiek for just handling business. I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to really watch the awards and the ceremonies and just the gathering. This must have been very expensive for Turki Shiek to coordinate every single person from all over the world, whether it's bringing Artur Beterbiev, whether it's bringing Dimitri Bivol, Canelo, everybody involved to be able to talk shop, to be able to set the future, the scheduling of what boxing in 2025 is going to look like. The best way to do that is when you gather everybody around. So shout out to Turki Shiek for doing this commemorative event. Of course, there's going to be people that are also disgruntled. And here enters Tank Davis. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys have been seeing, but Tank Davis he's very disgruntled, very salty that he wasn't invited to this Ring magazine convention. And there's a couple of things that, even if Turki were to send that invite to Tank Davis probably wouldn't even go. He wouldn't even attend. Tank is just a waste of time. He's being forgotten. A lot of the times we've asked for Tank to do these things, and had he had just a little bit of fight in him, like real dog in him, if he had a little bit of Mexican in him, Tank Davis, that is, he might just be one of the greatest 135-pounders in the history of the lightweight division. And what I mean by a little Mexican in him is not his ability to fight or to hurt people, What I mean is put business aside and just fucking fight. Just be a fighter. And you won't have Lamont Roach. You won't have Frank Martin. You would do what Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, Robert Duran, Lomachenko, what these other great 135 pound fighters used to do, was fight one another. Get what I'm saying? Imagine what Tank Davis's resume would look like had he fought, let's say, Lomachenko. What does Tank Davis' resume looks like if he fought Lomachenko, Shakur, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez at lightweight division? He would be in the front covers of every single thing, not GQ magazine, the Ring magazine, Forbes. He would be ubiquitous all over. People would be talking about him. But because he's not getting these invites, he's not being respected, Tank's being forgotten. And that's why he feels the way he does. All of those messages that he puts on, like, put it like this. Tank Davis, and excuse my language here, but he's calling every single person that attended this ring convention commemorative event dick eaters, right? He's calling everybody who's playing along to get along. You know, you got to pay to play, so to speak, when you go to the poker table, right? They're not just going to just buy you in. And here's Tank Davis, very disgruntled. Nothing is going in favor of Tank Davis's way for a very long time. He can't get the big fights. He's not getting the big paychecks. And this dude is being disrespectful to the whole world and his people. What I've always said, and I've always told you guys, is this. Tank Davis doesn't value our money because he thinks he doesn't need our money. He thinks that he doesn't need our homage. He doesn't need our hard-earning money to be able to give him the lifestyle that he wants or he thinks that he deserves. Look at the manner in how he treats Bud Crawford. Look how he attacks his wife. All of these people are catching strays for what? Because you weren't invited to a ring convention that you probably wouldn't have even attended had you gotten an invitation. Also this, all of those people that attended, I think Teofimo put a post in his IG. All of those fighters have done great things, have actually challenged themselves. You haven't, Tank. All of those fighters are actually the true pioneers and deserve to be the face of boxing. And none of them self-proclaim themselves, maybe only Canelo. And he probably has the right to do so because look what he's been doing in his whole boxing career. And look what you're trying to force upon us with your lack of a career. You get what I'm saying? That's why I was very salty myself when Ryan Garcia threw Tank and PBC that lifeline of support. Because if Ryan doesn't do that, if he doesn't sacrifice all that weight, if he listens to Oscar and now puts a hydration clause on him or a catch weight, if he just listens to Oscar and not Guadalupe Valencia and he doesn't sell himself, Tank has no momentum. He has no leverage. Nothing. That's only what Tank is known for, that Ryan Garcia fight. He's still living off that Ryan Garcia money. There would be no significant thing in Tank Davis's career but that Ryan Garcia moment. And that's why I was very upset with Ryan. It's like, bro, you should listen to the gold medalist who was able to basically turn a boxing career into $1 billion, dynasty or longevity of X amount of years in the pro game. That's Oscar De La Hoya. Saludos El Pachuco. Salute to you, brother. Adi Medi goes, man, Tank is so prideful. I can 100% guarantee he won't bend the knee to Turki. He better not. He better not bend the knee, bro. If I'm Turki Ali Shiek, I was talking to Speed earlier in a conversation, right? If I'm Turki, I don't even want to do business with Canelo Alvarez either, or with Tim Tszyu. The only reason why Canelo is there is because he took everything that the PBC had to offer. And he's so proudful as well, he won't even fight David Benavidez. If I'm Turki Ali Shiek, I'm like, I don't need you, Canelo. Remember when you guys didn't need me? Well, I have all this money. I have all this pull and influence now. I don't need those three fighters. I don't need Tank. I don't need Tim Tszyu. Hell, Canelo, you're almost out the door. I don't need you. Look at these amazing events. Look what I've been able to do without you guys. You see, one of the things that these boxers like Tank need to realize is this. You guys maybe have 5 epic boxing years of your career left in you, or just in total. There's some fighters like Canelo, Usyk, Crawford that can have longevity, but it's very rare in the sport of boxing. Promoters have a lifeline, have a lifetime, better yet, if they handle business correctly. The Mexican G, shout out to you, bro. I was waiting for you because you feel way about sand people. You feel me? Tank has a lot of pride, but the pride that involves men bending over or getting on their knees. Yeah, that's funny, bro. Nah, man, that's what happens to Tank. It's like, bro, if you're smart, Tank, you would be doing business with Turki Shiek. But it lets me know that you're not a businessman, that you're not smart. When Eddie Hearn said that, I don't think Tank is a deep thinker, this is what he meant. I guarantee you Floyd Mayweather would do business with Turki Shiek. So I don't really know where Tank is coming from. I don't understand. And this dude is he's lucky that he's rich. How many times have I said that? Had I ran over a pregnant woman, I'm locked up for life. But because he's rich people look after their own. Rich people can afford lawyers. Rich people can buy out the oppressed and silence them, right? Or the victims. They can buy them out. Poor people can't buy out poor people. It doesn't work that way. Tank is lucky that he has some money and there has some people that are looking out for him like the way that they do. Not because they love Tank, because, it can be an exploit. There's money to be generated with Tank. He's very lucky in that aspect. But he's the stupidest person I can ever see from a standard of boxing. Just a viewpoint. As a businessman, you burn no bridges with no promoters. You don't. Because one day they're going to have something that you need, or you just, again, this is just in the name of business and making money. If that's all you care about, Tank, if you want to own an island and just silence the whole world and you can just be by yourself, with your long Native American hair and your two talent fighting spirit, then what you need to do, bro, is you got to get along to play along with all of these people and generate the most bang for your buck. It's funny because in one ear, Tank is calling out all of these sellouts, dick eaters. And then the other, he wants Turki Shiek to front him 150 million. So which one is it, Tank? You want Turki's money or is he a dick eater? Because I don't really understand. I don't understand where you're coming from, bro. Like, it's just you're the most ridiculous person I've that people give so much respect to. Because I look past the blinders of this dude. You know what I mean? I don't even think he's that great of a fighter. Do I respect his skills? Yeah, when he's fighting guys that are 122 pounds like Leo Santa Cruz. But let me see if Drew and Speed are on here so they can carry on the show. Got to blow out my nose. Let me see. The Mexican G goes, man, Tank wears purses and paints his nails. He's all about pride, girl. Adi goes, if all else fails, just say, I got more money than you. Yeah, man, it's ridiculous, bro. Absolutely ridiculous, man. And I don't understand how guys like Canelo Alvarez and all of these dudes can really anoint him and have him on a pound for pound list. It's the ultimate disrespect. If I'm Canelo Alvarez, I'm not putting anybody that doesn't dare to be great on a pound for pound list. So I ain't putting Tank. If I'm Canelo, I'm not putting Tank and I'm making him my equal to me. I'm not putting him on the 10 best pound for pound fighters because of what? Because you can knock out Frank Martin? That's like giving Canelo credit because he can knock out Amir Khan. Like, duh. You're supposed to do that. That's like giving credit to David Benavidez for knocking out David Morrell. Duh. The dude's a 9-0 prospect. Could you knock out Alexander Volstik like Beterbiev did? If you can, then you're the Mexican monster, but you can't. So I know that you're not. Same thing with Tank. It applies. Shout out to you, Vince Vargas. Happy Tuesday, brother. Tank is going to be rusty by the time he hops back into the ring. If he ever hops back into the ring. I mean, the guy told us that he's retired. So is he retired or does he want to fight for $150 million on a rematch against Ryan Garcia? Like, I don't understand what he wants, man. You get what I'm saying? This guy's the biggest hoe in the world. And I hope he never fights again. The Mexican G goes, I respect that Tank is not selling out to that camel hockey. Nah, man, nah. Like he's going to sell out eventually. You know, when he's 38 years old, when he has nothing going for him, when his businesses, you know, get caught on fire, that's when he's gonna need all that money again. That's the reality. See, it's not about look. When Turki Shiek started, I was a little confused myself in the sense that I was like, bro, are you guys excuse me. When it comes down to Tank Davis, right? Actually, hold on. Let me read that last comment because I lost my train of thought. I respect that Tank is not selling out to that camel hockey. Look, when it came down to Turki Sheik, right? I was a little perplexed. I didn't know what he was trying to do. I'm not a big fan of misfit fights. I don't really like, you know, fighters that haven't really paved their way, you know, or quote unquote pay their dues, just go in straight main event fights like Francis Ngannou versus Tyson. I don't like moments like that. I don't like Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. There's a place and a time for exhibition matches. So I would just like, Turkey, you're over saturating the market with mediocre fights, and you're overpaying these whack ass fights and these whack fighters. You get what I'm saying? But now I can see a little bit of the vision of what it is that he's trying to, you know, accomplish now. Let me see. Looks like Drew's in here. Looks like Speed is in here. Yo. Carry it over, fellas. How you guys been? Y'all hurt? Might check real quick.
Hello, Warp Speed. I'm just kidding. What's up, man? What's up, bro? Yeah, man. I just my bad. I had to do some other things around the house, so I just literally clicked enter, and I don't know what you were just talking about right now, but
Like
um,
mop,
there's,
like mop
there's
the
a lot.
floor, wash the dishes, do the bathroom. What you doing? The women's shorts now,
Literally,
bud?
literally, I had to. Yeah, 'cause we got guests coming over, so I had to. So
Yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah.
But I had to do that real quick and clean up a little bit. But yeah, man, it's just little chores around the house. But yeah, man, a lot to talk about.
Good
The
even
ring
fall.
awards, bro. This is exactly what we needed. The ring awards. Just to bring up the sport. I think things like this actually elevate the sport, bro. Like, So I don't know. I like it. They just got to do better with the
Well, hold on. Let
with
me go
those.
with the
Go ahead, my
questions
bad.
first. If you wanted to do a mic check
See,
real quick. Hold the
see,
horses real quick.
Mm,
So
mm.
see.
basically, what I was saying with Turkey, I was a little unsure of what he was trying to accomplish. Because when he came in, he was very arrogant. He was very arrogant and ignorant, and those are the two worst things to do, right? Ignorant in the sense that he doesn't really know which fighters to try to sign, and then he's arrogant enough that he's super rich that he's like burning bridges with the fighters that look to be the faces of boxing, like Tank, Canelo, and Tim Tszyu, right? So now, as we give him time to grow, this guy's doing proper things. He found his market, he found his niche, he found his exploit, right? And that is those very tough fights to make, like Beterbiev versus Bivol, Fury versus Joshua, or Fury versus Usyk, where there's certain fighters, if the money isn't right, these fights aren't going to be made. He can now has that money where he's able to bring in those fights that diehards want, that diehards need, and they also satisfy the palates of the casual fan. Because believe it or not, I like to believe that I am a casual fan, and I'm okay with that. I actually
Same.
hate being a hardcore fan. When you know too much, you lose that wonder. When you know too much, you lose that like
Curiosity. Yeah.
yeah, that curiosity, that just like wow,
Yeah.
because you get so rattled into the aspect of
But
boxing business that
yeah.
we should mind our like we shouldn't even be paying attention to. Like what
Yeah.
these fighters get paid, rehydration costs, and all that stuff. That's for the birds, bro. You get what
But
I'm
we've
saying? When
also
you just worry about your life, and then you come back and you just see an amazing fight on the TV, and you don't even care who the names are. You just see this amazing Chico Corrales versus Castillo, and you're just like, "What the fuck is this?" That's what makes boxing great.
we've also missed out on a lot as well.
All rehydration, catch weight, A side, B side crap. And then you got, dumbass hardcore boxing fans talking about why this fight didn't get made. That's for the birds. That's what kills boxing. When you just see amazing fights, that's what you get that headlines on the newspapers. That's what brings in Fox News to start talking about it. And once you have that, now you have relevancy. Anyway, man, have you guys had a moment to watch this ring convention commemorative awards?
Go ahead, Speed.
Well, good even fall to one and all. Good even fall to you, homie Ricky, and good even fall to you, Dream 123. Arimeri, good even fall. Mr. Vince Vargas, the Mexican G, El Pachuco. Every single person out there who has decided to join with us once again to discuss all things organized violence, I appreciate it. Now, I have only had the opportunity in passing, homie Ricky, to watch that ceremonious event that took place over the weekend. Mostly, I've been following the news surrounding the event itself, right? The little things that actually made it through. Into the mass forms of telecommunications, right? The social medias, the little snippets, those things that are more noteworthy, right? Because those rumors are the ones that really allow us to imagine what exactly Mr. Turki Shiek may have in store for us in the future, right? This event that took place over the weekend is really, it's like something that will portend what the rest of 2025 will look like, right? From the Haneys bugging Ryan Garcia to Connor Ben bugging Ryan Garcia to the conversations, these little snippets that happened between these Russians, Beterbiev and Bivol, all of those things really are the rumors of what the future will hold for the sport, right? And that's what I've had an opportunity to look at. So I wouldn't say that I've had no more than the rest of you guys. The same stuff that's been making the rounds, I'm sure that I've followed. But otherwise, all I know is that it is the equivalent of the ESPYs, right, for the sport of boxing. It is an inauguration for one of the most reputable magazines devoted to this year's sport, and mostly it's just been something promising. As far as whether I watched all 3 hours of it, absolutely not, homie Ricky. I had a lot of stuff going on over the weekend, but I'll make sure I watch it sometime.
Yeah, actually, that's a great way to put it. It's definitely reminiscent of the ESPYs for sure. It has that vibe to it, and kind of like I was prefacing the videos, it's kind of what boxing needs to remain with the times. You see, the NFL, the NBA, all of these big time, prime time sports that are relevant in here in the United States of America, right? They have their awards. Comeback player of the year, MVP, offensive player of the year. That's what boxing needs to have impact. And it's very nice to see fighters like Bruno Surase get that, underdog or
Recognition.
upset of the year over Jaime Munguia. Because that's
Yeah.
what, especially
Wow.
everyone gets to see who this dude is, how he looks, how he speaks,
Mhm.
representing his nation in front of the Canelos of the world. They're like, oh shit, what? This a fucking guy right here that fucking put Jaime on his ass on Tijuana. You're like, what? And this dude's fucking funny because he has a list. You know what I mean? Let's just say you get what I mean? It just makes it important. Like
Mhm.
we're supposed to care about it.
Exactly.
It's cool.
Yeah, I liked it, bro.
Who else giggled when Virgil Ortiz was
Well, what did he say? What did he say, Arimedi? What did he say? What did he say? I missed it.
Yeah, what did he say? I didn't see that.
I don't know. Adi Medi goes, Virgil was doing all the giggling. It was hilarious for some reason.
Oh.
I didn't see that. I'm
That's
trying to
funny.
watch as much interviews that I possibly could, but I didn't really see Virgil in there, The Mexican G goes, and I ain't talking about no sandwich. Hold on, there's a message that get blocked. Let me see what we pounding tortas. What are you guys talking about? I don't know. And I ain't talking about no sandwich.
You know what was funny? I mean, not funny, guys. Imagine, all right, you're in this mansion, right? Surrounded by some of the hottest, and by hottest, I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about most talked about, exciting fighters in the sport right now. Some of the most accomplished individuals in the sport, all congregated in one mansion with
To,
walls closing on them, right? Each of them sizing each other up, each of them trying to play nice with each other. You think Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua, and they ran into each other and they were being very
nah, that's
respectful?
squash. That's squash.
Well, of course. But you don't think Anthony Joshua, knowing how emotional and invested he is in his own career, you don't think he felt a certain way and he
No,
had
man,
to just to swallow his pride, know
this
that
isn't
you were the better man?
this isn't the WWE, man, bro. This is like
That's what I'm
they
saying.
made
This is real.
you have to understand how much money these guys have made. They are happy with the amount that they've made. You know, I mean, as far as AJ, you know, I would be. He was smiling the whole time, bro. Like I don't see no like bitter energy from him.
No, no, no. I'm not saying
Whoa,
there
whoa,
was
whoa, whoa.
bitterness.
Hold on. You guys are deviating to some other stuff, man. Let me
Yeah,
get you guys back into this thing. So the ceremony, man, was very good. It was nice hearing Robert Garcia talk about his fighters, you know. But it's like you're being a little too humble, Robert. You're being a little too humble, and
Oh
pat
my
yourself in the back,
God.
man.
he wanted him to spike it.
Bro. No. Because he has to. You have to understand, Robert. You've been here before, bro. This isn't your first time winning this Trainer of the Year. This is probably your third time. So, bro, it's okay to, acknowledge your fighters. Obviously, they're the ones fighting the war, but you're the drill sergeant, bro. You're the one giving them on command. You're the one training them for 3, 4, 6 months, maybe a whole year, maybe a lifetime for these particular moments. So when the moment comes at the Super Bowl, when a unification comes, when they got to dig deep, you were there in the trenches, bro, letting them be calm under that noise. When the explosions are popping, he was the guy that and brought the glory back home. So, Robert, give yourself a pat in the back, bro. You know what I mean? He always acknowledges his fighters, talks about his dad, talks about all these trainers that he's learned from. It's great. But see, Robert, you made that moment great. You made those fighters greater. And that's why they left their previous trainers to come to you, to go to the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. Anyway, man, it's so great to see Robert get back at this respect, at this limelight again. It's well deserved.
Yeah.
Gabriela Fondora won her speech as well, won her moment, as fighter of the year. She became undisputed at, 112 pounds when she knocked out La Chucky, La Argentina. And so it was really great to see these fighters get respected amongst their peers. And, bro, I'm excited for what Turki Al Sheik has to bring. Here's another thing, guys.
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy that you finally understanding a bit of what Turkey Ali Sheik brings to the sport, homie Ricky. You were one of the most dubious, questionable individuals about what his plans were, and I told you it's very simple to understand Turkey Ali Sheik. Just imagine the richest casual fanboy in the sport, and just imagine that guy making everything happen because he's thinking like you and I. We just want to see the best fights happen. We don't care about your losses. We don't care about your earnings. None of that matters to me. What we want to do is see you fight. And now everything that's falling into place, it's good to know that people are finally recognizing him. In fact, I don't think I'd be wrong if I said Turkey Ali Sheik has been the best thing in the sport of boxing if we after the zone, right? I don't think that's an exaggeration. In fact, I would think that if the zone didn't exist, Turkey Ali Sheik would be the best thing in the sport of boxing in the past decade. Besides, let's say Canelo, right?
Maybe. I wanted to show you guys the ringmagazine.com website. If you guys subscribe to the magazine, you get a chance to win this badass Mercedes vehicle. It's kind of like a little, it's kind of like a
Bro,
lottery ticket. I wanted to show you guys that, but because I haven't updated this computer, I think this is running on 2018 freaking Yosemite software.
Can I send it to you?
Be like, hey, your time is out of sync and I have to upgrade it, and I'm not going to. But
Oh God! One day
Hey,
you're just things just gonna crash and you're gonna lose everything, bro.
hey,
yeah,
so I got
you guys
the
can hear the fan on my computer, but the fan is turning because of StreamYard. It's a very highly intensive program that the fan operates on my laptop. But anyway,
Yeah.
look,
hey.
man, have you guys had a chance, besides talking about the convention and paying homage to Turki Ali Sheik, have you guys had the chance to see some of these interviews in regards to Haney and Radio Raheem and Ryan Garcia and Radio Raheem? Have you guys had a chance to see these things?
Yeah, man. Oh no, not Raheem. Yeah, he's a good interviewer. I forgot he was there. There's so many videos to look at, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's too many. I mean, I try to pick and choose which one I want to watch, but these interviews went over my head. I just been mainly focused on the ones that the Zone dude. He's been pretty much interviewing everyone. So
Yeah, but that dude, he don't ask the good questions like Radio
yeah,
Raheem.
yeah, he
Man.
doesn't.
So basically, as we've been talking about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney religiously for like the the whole year, honestly, obviously we know that Devin is suing Ryan Garcia. It's probably gonna happen, but I think Devin is gonna drop the lawsuit. Now they haven't really told us why, but it looks like Ryan and Devin are having some kind of communication with one another. And it seems that maybe when it comes down to jurisdictions and when it comes down to, the litigation process, maybe Devin and that lawsuit, they don't really have legitimate standing, right? And maybe they're losing a lot of money because obviously it's very expensive to go to litigation, have these depositions, and try to find this evidence and interview people to build a case. And since there's no precedent, when you have to set one, it's easier said than done. It's extremely difficult and it's very expensive. You can't just need one team. You need a whole fucking firm, right? Those big old buildings, sky rises in, like, say, Manhattan that have like Waddle and Reed on the door. You need a big firm like that to set a precedent, right? Lobbyists. I don't think Devin and them, when they set this little frivolous lawsuit, right? Because that's what it is, frivolous.
The Haney firm.
They didn't really understand how expensive it was gonna be, right? And that's why now all of a sudden, maybe Devin Haney wants the rematch. We talked about it. We talked about it like this, right? In the past, that what Devin needed to do to clean his name and clean his image, right? Because it looks like he's just a salty crybaby. To put it together, he's a sore loser, right? What he needs to do is act like a fighter. And what do fighters do? They fight. And more importantly, what do fighters do when the world sees you get your ass kicked? What do? They coined it, getting it back in blood. So what did Anthony Joshua do when he got his ass beat by Andy Ruiz? Instantaneously, rematch clause. And he showed everybody that it was a fluke. That's what Devin needs to do immediately. Don't cry about it to the social medias, to the lawyers. They can't fight your fights, Devin. You got to do what fighters do, and that's kick ass. You got to kick Ryan Garcia's ass.
Yep.
Wasted and squandered a whole year trying to play politics. You already got the fight overturned, but it's ingrained in the people's hearts and minds that you might get it overturned on paper, but what the people saw with their own two eyes, they saw you get dropped 3-4 times. And that's what Devin needs to eradicate. You see, both Ryan and Devin, they need vindication. And basically, this interview was kind of about that. Radio Raheem was asking Ryan, look, are you interested in the Ryan Garcia and the Devin Haney rematch? And he goes, no, not really. Radio Raheem followed up by asking, but don't you need it as well to kind of clean your name and vindicate yourself from being a dirty fighter? And Ryan was like, look, bro, my whole life I've been really clean, X, Y, and Z. I passed all the drug tests except that fight, the last test and stuff like that. And so he's basically kind of like, no. And he drops a little bit of a bomb, bomb right now. He says, It looks like I'm fighting Teofimo Lopez next, right? So I don't know. It's a really interesting interview. Radio Raheem, probably one of the best
Oh yeah.
journalists in terms of or interviewers in the sport of boxing that we have.
Yep.
And he asked some really good questions. And let me try to find this moment for you guys. Hold on.
Diagnosed with cancer in the same year, and just a lot of things in my personal life. It just it felt like one thing after another, and then yeah, I mean, for me to be here and just like kind of like trying to have a good time, it took a lot of work. So a little salty, but it's a little strange. But other than that, Teofimo Lopez. So life, and like I said, I'll be ready for whatever happens. It's looking like I'm gonna fight Teofimo Lopez, so that's good. You know, I've seen him today. It's a little strange, but other than that, what was that?
Oh, wait a minute. It looks like you're gonna fight him. What's giving that look?
What do you guys think about Ryan Garcia moving from the Devin Haney saga? And what do you think about, him fighting Teofimo Lopez?
That says that Oscar De La Hoya wants him to fight Teo. That's what that means, you know, because obviously if it was up to Ryan, he'd be fighting Devin, you know. That's what it sounds like, you know. But that's you know, it's always up to Oscar, and I got to hear what Oscar has to say, like in an interview. You know what how like a Teo fight against Ryan would sound. You know, I got to see how he answers that question because he obviously is the one that, you know, has dips on any of his fights. You know, he can't be fighting without a Golden Boy logo, pretty much. So yeah, so it's a good fight, but I got to see what Oscar has to say.
Yeah, Oscar is actually very like he wants that fight for a
Oh, does
very
he?
long time.
Yeah.
He's a
Okay.
big fan of Teofimo Lopez. In fact, they like, you know, kick it with one another. They chop it up here and there, and he's a big component. Like he wants that fight, and I'm pretty sure that's kind of what, you know, it works for both sides. Golden Boy maybe is trying to whisper a little bit, and Teofimo is like, "Hey, bro, ask, you know, your handlers, what does your buyout look like? You know, come over here to the Zone and Golden Boy and all of these things." And I feel that's where like Teofimo is getting this influence from in terms of parting ways with Top Rank. You know, Top Rank, in my opinion, has ever since the Lomachenko fight, and maybe even Josh Taylor, Teofimo didn't really get the respect that he deserved, right? In the sense that they don't really call him two-time undisputed. It's just Lino Ring Magazine champion, right? That's why he carries the Ring Lino belt. But also, it's like after those fights, you put him up against Sander Martin, Jermaine Ortiz. These are very, very tricky fights with very tricky style fighters. Those are not easy fights for anybody, right? That's like going from Josh Taylor, and instead of, you know, Teofimo fighting Regis Prograis or Jose Ramirez, you put him up there against an Arnold Barbosa. You get what I'm saying? Alberto Puello. These guys that aren't even known and that have legitimate boxing skills. Jermaine Ortiz and Sander Martin are really good boxers, but no one's gonna give Teofimo respect for those fights because that's like Canelo fighting Erislandy Lara.
You know,
So difficult. It's so difficult to look very good against them. And if you knock them out, real people know, man, you just knocked out a tricky ass fighter. But no, because they're so unknown, they're gonna be like, you're supposed to knock them out. Like, who they fight? You know what I mean? And that's what you have to understand. Yo, the Mexican G, man, you're foul for that comment. You said
yeah.
something about Morbid. I don't even know how you even know that movie, bro. That's just like sick.
Look,
Norbit.
going back to address that rumor, or in fact almost an admission of who Mr. Ryan Garcia is going to be fighting next in Teofimo Lopez. Really, all we have to do, homie Ricky, if you could bring up another short right there, right? I want you to, you know, open up your tab or whatever on YouTube and just Google or search on YouTube Teofimo Lopez Tros Gervonta and fans. And he made this little 30-second clip, right, on his own channel or whatever, Fight Hype, Fight Hub, or whatever, and just bring it up. And if you pay attention to that little short, it'll tell you everything about who Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia are going to be fighting next. Teofimo Lopez trolls Gervonta and fans. Just play that right there and just pay attention.
I really like you telling me what to do on my channel, bro.
It's a well produced little short. Teofimo Lopez trolls Gervonta Tank Davis. I don't know why you're going to a channel. You should just search.
You said because you go to Fight Hub or Fight Hype.
No. Just go to, just Google, search Teofimo Lopez trolls. Just put Teofimo Lopez trolls on YouTube. I think it's that one right there, Teofimo Lopez going broke. Just play that right there. Just listen very closely.
Also, can you sign my... What the
Whoa. Okay, go. Oh, he spoke right when he said it.
All right, so
No. Listen to the end. Just listen to the end.
Well, I tried playing it. I mean, that was just a snippet, man.
Yeah, no, just play it. It's really just that. He wakes up and there's somebody that speaks at the end.
So he's panhandling. Keep going.
Okay. Man, if you listen to the end, don't take my word for it. It's really right there. I don't know why you just don't replay it. At the end, Oscar de la Hoya comes out and he comes up with his famous like "no mames" or "fuck you." Oh, I'm sorry about that, guys. Sorry. He says a bad word. Look, pay attention.
Theo, is that you? Yeah. I got you, champ. Also, can you sign my... What the
Oh wow, they edited it right, but at the end, Teofimo Lopez takes Oscar de la Hoya, and you know how Oscar de la Hoya on his clapback Thursdays he always says "F you." He cuts that part out and he leaves it at the end. Oscar de la Hoya is the very last thing sound that you hear at that thing. His famous "F you." Now, if you look back at that, what is that? What is that trying to tell you? Oscar de la Hoya and Teofimo Lopez are working together. Teofimo Lopez is obviously cool with Oscar de la Hoya. He quotes him at the end after Teofimo Lopez has been going tit for tat with Mr. Bob Arum and Top Rank, telling them that he wants to leave them. He wants to buy out his contract. He flips them the bird using Oscar de la Hoya's own voice, and all of a sudden, 4 days later, Ryan Garcia is talking about he's going to fight him. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is a very likely fight to take place if Mr. Bob Arum allows Teofimo Lopez to cross the street or to purchase his last remaining fight there.
Yeah, because when it comes down to this particular fight, when it comes down to what's going on in Teofimo's career, he's been, I want to say, ducking the smoke when it comes down to guys like Brian Norman, because that's making the weight jump to 147. Even fighters like Subriel Matias. When I was talking about the mishandling of Top Rank, I believe Teofimo is a star. That self-made promotion video where he's panhandling, bro, there's no other boxer that's doing witty shit like that on their own. You get what I'm saying? You don't see Bud Crawford doing stuff like that. Ryan Garcia does stuff like that. And that's a kid that has 12 million, X, Y, and Z followers. That's Teofimo bro, that's hilarious. That's actually quite symbolic that a two-time, basically undisputed Lineal Ring magazine fighter is panhandling for chump change. Bro, that's funny, bro. That's a great way to actually build an instigate a fight or even a moment, get people to talk about, and then he snaps out of it and his dream is like, oh my gosh, could have gone broke. You get what I'm saying? And then there's something where like, how you doing, bro? No, but
Well, that's I just wanted you guys to hear it. That was not me. That was Oscar De La Hoya. Look, okay,
hold on.
I love that fight. I love that fight.
Wait. So it makes a lot of sense for this fight to come in because again, I feel like Top Rank has mishandled Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is probably the most relevant fighter, one of the best fighters that Top Rank has on their roster. This dude is like, he is must-see TV. When you watch Teofimo Lopez against Josh Taylor, bro, this dude is flying and throwing Superman punches. He demolished Josh Taylor. Bro, it was one of the most unique ways of an undisputed fighter versus an undisputed fighter, and there was literally no promotion for it. They promoted Oscar Valdez and El Vaquero like on some Wild West, untouchable Clint Eastwood productions, and it's like you couldn't do that with Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor. You couldn't do something witty like that. And that's where I'm like, they put more emphasis on these other fighters, mediocre fighters. And it should have gone all the attention to Teofimo Lopez after he beat Lomachenko. And they didn't. You get what I'm saying? So if I'm Teofimo Lopez, I'm like, bro, I got to fight the Steve Claggets of the world. I have to wake up and grind by fighting this Canadian fighter who landed on the moon fighting me. And it's like, I'm supposed to go from bigger and better things, unifying fights. And they couldn't even honor anything. They weren't even willing to dish out that type of cash. They were trying to get his ass beat by Brian Norman. Like, what? Brian Norman? Why would I want to fight Brian Norman? If I'm Teofimo Lopez, I'm like, bro, you guys don't know what you guys don't know how to handle my career. You guys just think that I'm just another Mexican that you're gonna make move up like you did with Navarrete and fight that Dennis Berenchink fighter. You're gonna use me like Oscar Valdez, move up at stake at 130 and lose to Shakur Stevenson. Every fight that I've had, you're just gonna sell me for the next black fighter. And Teofimo was like, fuck that, bro. I'm gonna go break money with La Raza, so to speak. I'm gonna go over to Oscar De La Hoya and fight Ryan Garcia. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, that they completely mishandled Teofimo Lopez's career. And it's actually quite disgraceful that Top Rank, I've always told you guys, that's what Top Rank always does to Latino fighters. Always. That's always what they do. Anyway, let me read a couple of these comments before you guys can chime in. Maybe I'm wrong, but you guys can cut. I'm gonna skip all that Norbit nonsense, bro, because that's crazy, bro. Adiveri was Ryan Garcia versus Teofimo Lopez. Cinco de Mayo weekend. Teo versus Ryan, because Canelo and Crawford are not gonna risk a tune-up fight. Absolutely, that's a tune-up paycheck, and then you can allow that fight to escalate for September. Oscar De La Hoya is happy for the May fight dates, and he's gonna rub it in Dana White's face after negating those UFC Noche tickets. Canelo said, yes, I'll give you the dates, but you have to reimburse me for what I would have made against William Skull. And Turkey said, sure, bud, here's $20. You don't think Canelo will fight William Skull, Adi? I don't think so. The Mexican G goes, Crawford and his wife should go as Timon and Puma for Halloween next year. Bro, I'm going to tell my that Bud's wife was Lizzo. Right? You guys are wild, bro. Why is this woman catching these strays, man?
Dude, that's funny, dude. Oh, man. That's hilarious. Oh, but yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, with the whole Teo thing, man, there's so many fights, bro, that he could have gotten. It's just dudes just be ducking him, bro. I think Devin already ducked him, turned down his contract, and also Teo's doing the same. He's actually turning down fights too. With turning down Top Rank's offers and stuff like that. So kind of sticky situation, But so I hope he gets bought out and he can actually like move freely, It's just once he moves up to 140, bro, and actually faces like a real 140 pounder, bro. It's kind of like I don't know if he gets far, So I like his energy though. He moves like he can like really beat these guys, and I think he really does think he can beat dudes like what's his name, Brian Norman, and all these other guys. I feel like he really does feel that way. I don't see it, man. Not
Bro,
a
you
one.
gotta look at it like this, Drew. Bro, Brian Norman ducked. They talked himself out of a unification fight with Boots. And
Yeah, I know.
that's unification, two undefeated fighters. And it made sense. When his father was saying Brian Norman Sr., he said, look, bro, I like the Jerron Boots and his fight. I think my son will beat him. The thing is, I want a homecoming fight for my kid. I want to fight in Atlanta. He had his homecoming fight in Philly. I want that for my son. I want to continue to build this fight for unification. Right now, you guys are offering me $750,000. That's a lot of money, right? But when you talk about getting 20% from taxes, I got to pay the promoter 10, the manager 10, all of these people, then we're only taking home $350K. I want to take home $1 million when it's all said and done. And I'm like, that's fucking true. I would do the same thing too. And if I'm Teofimo Lopez, how are you asking me to move up go straight to 147, no tune-up, and fight a champion for their homecoming fight? What? Yeah. What about Sobrian Matias? He lost his belt. I don't want Leon Paro. I want Richard Hitchinson. And that's what he's saying. And everything makes sense. And you're just like, it's very true. I can see where these guys are coming from in their respective decision-making. However, it's just like, I don't really agree with, again, I just think it's, from when it came down to Brian Norman, I hear what you're saying, Brian Norman. That actually makes a lot of sense. And I respect your decision. So stand on it. But you can't say that Teofimo don't want the smoke, because that don't even make sense for you. You get what I'm saying? That's how I think Teofimo is like, a Rod Salka. But when it comes down to 147, that's uncharted territory for him.
Yeah.
He's even been there. And that's a two-time, basically undisputed champion at your hands. So you're not going to, fuck this dude over, because he's got a way better career than you.
And
you better count your chickens, Buster. You wrong.
Dude, but the thing is, bro, like with the boots fight, I mean, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. Like, he really wants to, it's a risk thing, right? Boots, bro, I'm pretty sure Boots, like, I got Boots beating Brian Norman, bro. And honestly,
not comfortably after that Karen rematch. Hell nah.
Yeah, Karen's different though. I think Karen beats Brian Norman as well. I think he beats him as well.
So, right now I'm thinking Karen is the best fighter at 147 right now.
He's legit. He's underrated. But I think
just on skill alone, right?
This is another thing though. This is another thing I actually heard. Like, there's not a lot of welterweights getting paid over 1 million like that. Like, there's very few fighters. I think it's just Boots really. After that, it's no one else. It's not Stanionis, so you got to look at the playing field. You got to look at the whole market. You can't just look at your own situation, And I feel like the management, they didn't have a good manager. They didn't have a good negotiator, So that's actually one of the guys that was on the interview on TBV, and he wasn't. To me, it didn't sound like he knew too much what he was talking about, So I just feel like they should have gotten like I don't know, better management, like a Jay Prince or somebody else, bro. But so they negotiated and they just overpriced themselves. Like it's either a take it or leave it, and they didn't say yes or no. They just said, this is how much we want, and it's like, okay, and then they took it as a no. And it's like that's the way they run their business, and it's like, like they just overpriced themselves. And then literally like 5 minutes after the interview, they thought they were gonna during the interview, or that towards the end of the interview, they were like, Eddie Hearn, contact us. We want to make business with you, all this stuff. And then Eddie Hearn went on FaceTime once they hung up with Ness, and Eddie Hearn got on and he was like, "Oh no, it's over. It's over. We're not negotiating anymore. We're moving on." And then it's like they, so they don't know how to like do business, bro. It was like take it or leave it, bro. So, um, I don't know if that opportunity will come, but I think it will. And I hope it does. I hope that fight happens. Just for that sake, just because of all that, how that went down, and they pretty much got it on video, how like the negotiation and all that. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see, man.
honestly, man, I'm not even interested in any of those stuff. Like, I'm
Yeah.
interested about like what's happening in the now, and the now.
Well, I
20.
drive everywhere and listen to that podcast. So
Yeah,
I just have they were like it was live, and I was listening to it. I didn't, you know, so
got you. Yeah, man. Like starting off already with 2025. Like, I'm not talking about like literally the first 2 weeks, but what I see, what we have in store for us, bro. I'm over here just rubbing my hands, and I'm like, bro, this is primetime boxing again. It's gonna go. It's unfortunately that when I look at the big superstars, like right now, like Usyk, Canelo, and let's say Bud Crawford, right? You have your heavyweight, you have your middleweight essentially, and you have your welterweight. Even though they fight at 168, 154, let's just say for argument's sake, the three prime divisions, those champions have not much left, you know, in the sense that Bud Crawford already accomplished, he's already established. Then you have Canelo Alvarez, he's already established, but there's not many big fights left for them. Same thing with Usyk. And it saddens me a little bit where I'm like, damn, bro, Turki Sheek is like, he's getting kind of like the crumbs, the ending of these guys' careers. When imagine what would it look like Turki Sheek promoting a Canelo versus this type of fighter for undisputed. What would it look like if Turki Sheek was promoting Bud versus Errol Spence? You get what I'm saying? So now Turki Sheek has to revamp new superstars, because while he's getting his hands on Usyk, two-time undisputed, heavyweight champion, whatever the case may be, how much more fights? If I tell you guys, yo, which fights are you guys excited for Usyk? And you're like, well, he already fought Joshua Dubois. He already beat Fury. I mean, he's pretty much on the road to retirement. Same thing. What if I ask you guys for Canelo? You guys might throw me David Benavidez, and I'm gonna be like, and who else? And better be. And then who else? He's pretty much fucking fought everybody. Same thing with Bud Crawford. Like, what more do you guys like? So that's what kind of sucks a little bit in this sense, where like Turkey now has to build the next story and arch enemies for Jaron Boots Ennis. There's Brian Norman. There's the Lithuanian boxer El Pelon, the white skinned guy. What's his name? He hasn't fought like in 2 years since he fought Ron Butayev. What's his name, guys? Come on, man. I'm throwing you guys.
Koyazo?
Nah, not Koyazo. Nah, the Lithuanian undefeated dude that was supposed to fight Virgil Ortiz, and then this guy had literally who? Stanionis. So he has to build these next wave of welterweights. Same thing with the middleweight division. There's Carlos Adames, there's Johnny Beck, but Turki Sheek has to more or less build those megastars. And it's like, who is it going to be? Could he build Shakur Stevenson? Is Shakur Stevenson even that guy? I don't think so. But who's at the lightweight division? Tank Davis, you guys don't want him to sell out, So it's going to be very difficult for Turki Sheek when the three biggest divisions, middleweights and more or less Canelo, Bud Crawford more or less in the welterweight division, and Usyk are on their way out the door. Who are the next three champions that is going to bring in those boxing fans that boxing needs and for Turki Sheek to promote? Who do you guys see?
Shakur. I think it's Shakur. I think he's gonna do.
No.
I think no.
Oh, keep going. So you say Shakur. Give me 200 names. Like, what about the heavyweight division? What about the
heavyweight division? As far as like Americans, I don't know. Like,
don't have to be Americans. It can be a Conor Benn.
Okay. Honestly, bro, like it can be like someone like Jalalov. I think Jalalov is a threat, bro. He's still. I mean, he's rather young. I think he's like 23, 24. So, I think he's like a two-time gold medalist. I think he's one of them guys, bro. I think he's like a, he can easily beat like a Martin Bacoli, all those guys, bro. I think he's next he's coming up um in that top rank stable. And then who else? I'm still high on Mason, bro. I'm still high on Mason. Um,
You're
you
talking about
know,
Abdullah Mason.
yeah,
Yeah,
Abdullah
yeah, yeah.
Mason. I'm still high on him. He showed me a lot. He showed me that he could be chinny, but you gotta, you gotta come through and punch through in between his punches to do that. And that's a dangerous game to play with Mason. So he's there. Who else I'm thinking of? I think I'm Vargas, Amalo Vargas, bro. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still super high on him, bro. I think he's next up. I don't know what they're doing with him. As far as like the amount of rounds that he's fighting,
Yeah.
because I still think you know, they're still working with him. Like they're still trying to develop him just a little more. So maybe this year we'll start to see him in more, um, in like 10 rounders maybe, or
Gotcha.
so yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true, and that's where like Turkey is gonna have to. This is where we're gonna see Turkey Al Sheik's real skills in terms of the promoting game. Because see, anybody can promote, a Tyson Fury because he's been doing it for the past 20 years. Same thing with Joshua. Eddie Hearn's been building him up for the past 10, 15 years. Same thing with Canelo Alvarez, right? The past 20 years, he's been in the ring. Same thing with Bud Crawford. But these guys are already out the door. So, you mentioned the heavyweight Jalalov. Can he really be that guy for Turk Ali Sheik at the heavyweight division? I don't think that's the guy. It could be Daniel Dubois. You see, who's already kind of in the mix, been beating some people, got the credibility, knocking out Joshua, got the shocking knockout of the year. At the 154 division, who does Turkey really have? Bud Crawford. But he's already asking Bud to move up to 168. Is it going to be Sebastian Fundora? Is it going to be Xander Zayas? Lightweight. I don't think it's Shakur, but it could be, not Amado, but it could be Emiliano Vargas. You said Abdullah Mason. So these are the guys that Turkey's going to have to somehow build up. Maybe Jerron Boots Ennis, maybe Stanionis, but this is where we're going to really see how talented Turkey Ali Sheik is. See, you and me, we can promote Canelo Alvarez. The dude's established. That's easy work. We can promote Ryan. These guys already known into the mix. I need to see Turkey if he can turn in the next 3, 4. Because, see, boxing is only as relevant as the boxing stars that you can constantly promote. And sometimes when it comes down to United States, there's not a lot that are going into the sport of boxing. They mostly go to American football, they go to basketball, they go to other sports. And now with the popularity of baseball and American, soccer, America might not be where that market is. So Turki Al Sheik is going to have a very interesting once Usyk decides to call it quits, once Canelo walks away, once Bud Crawford walks away, he's going to have to channel in. And I'm curious to see if Turki Al Sheik is very passionate about it. Because, see, the thing about rich people and billionaires, they get bored relatively easy. They always move on to the next venture, right? So I'm
Here
curious.
we go again. Here
We,
we go again, misunderstanding Turkey Ali Sheik, His Excellency. First off, a couple of things for me, Ricky, that I want to clarify, right? A contention that I have with that idea that Teofimo Lopez was being fed to bigger, less accomplished fighters in the sake of what is obviously an implication that Teofimo Lopez has been making, right? Which is Bob Aaron and Top Rank has been trying to make Black American fighters accomplished and famous on account of the brown man, right? And you said that they were trying to feed Teofimo Lopez to Brian Norman Jr. And that Brian Norman Jr. does absolutely nothing to the career of Teofimo Lopez, but yet should Brian Norman beat Teofimo Lopez, which of course he's a much bigger guy. He's also highly skilled. Maybe he would beat him. I mean, we know that a couple of people have been very close to beating Teofimo Lopez, including Claggett and Sandor Martin, right? I think maybe Sandor Martin beat him or something to that effect, right? Um, the thing about it is this: the reason why Top Rank offered Brian Norman is because right after the Claggett fight, right after Teofimo Lopez beat Steve Claggett, the Canuck, he called out not Brian Norman. He actually called out heavier, greater threats than that guy. He called out Jerron Boots Ennis, and he also called out Terrence Crawford. Now, if you're Mr. Bob Arum, right? And we know that he has a personal disdain, or he should have a personal disdain for Terrence Bud Crawford after Terrence Bud Crawford, besmirched him and called him all kinds of names after trying to renegotiate his contract, right? If if you're talking about fighting at 147, if you're talking about fighting faces that are across the street at welterweight, right? Well, guess what? We have one in store for you. You don't have to go too far. It's actually a safer bet for you instead of fighting some of the guys that people are saying are the next men up, like your Joran Boots Ennis and a two-time undisputed, future Hall of Famer in terms of Crawford. If you want that 147 smoke, why don't we pitch you against Brian Norman? So this idea, right, that Teofimo Lopez is being fed to the bigger guys to make him famous, that really started because he opened up his mouth, right? Now, going back to that whole thing about Turki Ali Sheik, what his plans are, how these quote unquote rich guys, these rich people can get real bored of their influence and money and the way that they can manipulate the lower classes. Well, the fact of the matter is this: you guys are thinking that Turki Ali Sheik and Saudi Arabia are in the sport of boxing as businessmen, right? You're actually very mistaken in assuming that Turki Ali Sheik is a very wealthy individual. In fact, Turki Ali Sheik is none other than the head of an organization, a division for Saudi Arabia dedicated to aggrandizing the sports for their countrymen. Turki Ali Sheik's duties include bringing
Hold
the
on.
greatest people of all sports, not only boxing, tennis, golf, hockey, worldwide wrestling
Okay.
entertainment, all of these sports. His job is to make them popular in their country, to host the biggest events for national pride, and more importantly, to encourage their citizens to partake in these sports and these physical activities. That is his job. It's not a rich guy that possesses all kinds of money just having caprices and desires to make men and women fight against each other for his entertainment. No,
Okay,
he's doing it for a greater cause. He's doing it to make his country great again. And he is not a businessman. He is an employee of a nation. And that's what I want you guys to understand. They're not in it for the business, because right now they're shedding millions of dollars, guys. The time will come when they start flipping the buck, and maybe the time will come when they become businessmen. Maybe one day they will monopolize the sport and everybody will be fighting for Saudi Arabia, Riyadh season, and the prince Mohammed bin Salman, but they will not be doing it because Turki Ali Sheik is a rich, spoiled brat.
Hold on.
Dude, his pets are Bengal tigers, bro. They're tamed lions, bro. What are you talking about, man?
That's great. These are the biggest casuals. Oh my god.
Hold on. So Turkey, he actually said, like, what happened. I think they asked him a question like, what happens, like, when you run out of that money? He goes, I have my own money. He goes, I plan to use that as well. I plan, and it's like, okay, he's rich, bro. Like the Riyadh season, that's actually through that fund you're talking about. That's them, and they not only do boxing, but they do other events as well. So they're more of a entertainment standpoint, and and they actually do, bro. They do so many other things with, like, with Olympic sports and all this other stuff with track and field, like, and golf. They do all that, bro. So
Hmm.
yeah, they do events, bro. So that's their fun. And Turkey, he is the owner of the Ring magazine. So he's like, he calls the shots, bro. Like, so he, you know, paid his own money for that. So no one else owns that, just Turkey. So he is rich on his own as well. He is an employee.
You guys lost me on this stuff because it's like I hear what you guys are saying, but I mean that was just a talking point, guys. You guys not talking
Oh,
about it
No,
like
no,
that.
no. Yeah, but it's because these things are very important, homie. Because I don't want you guys to think that Turkey Ali Sheik, his only duty is making the sport of boxing great again. His obligations are greater than the sport of boxing. We only know about boxing because that's our favorite sport. But Saudi Arabia, Riyadh season, as a division of the sports entertainment industry in Saudi Arabia, they are very invested in golf. They are very invested in tennis. Some of the sports channels, some of the biggest events are
I
now
was just,
owned by
I was
Saudi
just, correct,
Arabia.
I was just correcting, speed. I don't know how we got to. I don't know how we got here.
Well, because again, what the
Because
allegations of
got little
Ricky Word is that this guy can get bored of the sport of boxing at any day, and what are the ramifications for when that day happens? And I'm telling you, he's not gonna get bored because that's his job.
I said, will he showcase his talent when the three big divisions, the middleweight, Canelo, the heavyweight, Usyk, when Bud Crawford, the welterweight, when all of these guys leave, does he have the patience to stick around and build an Emiliano Vargas, a Xander Zayas, the next epic cruiserweight, Jao Patai? Will he stick around? Vince Vargas goes, go to the fourth video at 8:02. Impressive, the Ghost Guerrero. Yo, man, so shout out to you, Vince. Vince put me on the G Squad Entertainment. That's our boy, Gabe Flores. He his first upset defeat was against Luis El Venado Lopez. Venado Lopez went on to have this amazing streak of fighting guys like Mick Conlon, these UK fighters, and then he just recently got destroyed, right? Just knocked out cold. Became a champion against Angelo Leo. And anyway, a lot of people, Gabe Flores has done a very great job promoting himself, but he fails to come through, losing the likes of guys like Ronaldo Lopez, guys like Abraham Nova, and I think he recently lost to like Giovanni Cabrera and some other guy. But you guys have to understand is this. Gabe Flores, when he was losing these fights, dude was basically 20, 18, 19 years old. I mean, this guy turned pro essentially like age 16, right? After he won like silver in the Pan American Games, he went pro instantly. He was just like, nah, I'm just gonna kind of like the Devin Haney route. I'm not gonna wait for the Olympics. Let me fast track my career. And at 17, top rank, right? And he was being matched quickly and fast. So when he's fighting, he's a little kid fighting these grown ass men. Well, these guys, grown men, have grown ass power. So when you have a 25-year-old punching on a 19-year-old, 17-year-old, they don't care about power. They get beat. They get, So Gabe Flores suffered defeats like back to back to back, and I think Top Rank ended up dropping him. He still has connections, and I think they're fighting still at the Top Rank gym. You can see Tim Sue down below. But a lot of people have written off Gabe Flores, and to Vince Vargas, he was like, man, a lot of people talk trash about him. There's a lot of stuff inflicted in his life, but he says the fourth video at minute 8:02. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, so maybe right here. Okay, Jesse James Guerrero. Hey, El Pachuco! It's El Zuzu Robert. Was it Robert Guerrero Sr.?
Ruben.
Ruben. That's right, Ruben. My bad, man. But yeah, Jesse James. He's out of Salinas, or is he
Him?
more Gilroy based?
He's Gilroy based.
He's Gilroy, but I think he lives closer to Salinas.
Ah.
In fact, the
Okay.
young fella, if I'm not mistaken, I spoke to his father, and
I'm sure
he is expecting a child with his wife.
Got you. Yo, man, I'm gonna skip all that slander and blasphemy that you guys are going on Bud's wife, man, dude. I'm gonna tell you guys this. 10 years ago, right? I made a video about Felix. I forgot exactly what I said, but it was about Bud Crawford. And Bud Crawford's sister commented on my video, and she's like, "Stop hating," right? So I'm just saying, bro, you guys are talking smack, but they'll follow you guys, and they're gonna go after you guys, man, because they got that fighting spirit. Trust me, you ain't trying to throw hands with no Respucia, bro. Don't be like that, bro. You guys are easy. Adi Medi goes, as of December 2024. Turki Ali Sheik's net worth is believed to exceed 2.8 billion, which is around 2.2 billion. Speed goes, this is pittance in comparison to Musk, Jeff Bezos. So, bro, I don't care. Adi Medi follows it up with Saudi Arabia's budget for Riyadh Expo 2030 is 7.8 billion. They're using some of that money on boxing. When that runs out, Turkey will use his 2.8 billion. Got you. Adi Medi goes, but Zuckerberg's and Bezos' money is tied to the stock market. The Saudis' money, to my understanding, is not.
Oh my God, Mexican cheese.
Man, 10 years.
Don't read it. Don't read it.
No guys have seen her feet. Bro.
That's messed up. Why did you read it? I told you not to read it, bro. Come on. Show some respect, man.
Like, being mean jokes aside, this dude is like, Terrence Crawford should be in the Lowrider magazine because when gets in the car, it's gonna be scraping the floor.
Oh my God, these guys are hilarious,
man,
bro. Literally hilarious, bro. I'm over here on mute chuckling, bro.
Hey, did you guys see? Did you guys see Tank's comments on his wife? Like literally,
that's where these guys are getting it from, man.
Okay,
it's just going. You guys are going rambunctious. Nah, man.
That's
look,
crazy.
all I'm gonna say is this, man. Salute to Terrence Bud Crawford. I'm not the biggest Terrence Bud Crawford fan. I don't like him. But I respect his boxing skills. I don't like him as a human being.
Why?
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
I don't think anybody asked him, and he's like, "And I'm gonna tell you why."
No, I'm gonna tell you why. A couple things. This dude. First, okay. You guys remember the press conference? Not even the press conference. Jose Benavidez situation.
Oh, I need to screen record this.
No, the Benavidez situation. This dude was, bro, you guys don't remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. So that's one thing. It's like, and here's another thing. During this time, this dude burns bridges with everybody. This guy sued Top Rank and Bob Arum, right? So this guy is not likable. He's not a likable person. He just isn't. You know what I mean? And he gives you that stare where it's just like, bro, you say something, he's gonna check you immediately, and it's just like, nah, you don't want to be around people like Bud Crawford. You want to have him as a friend, I guess, because the dude's gonna fucking never back down from anybody. You throw it down. The dude's got amazing hands. We know his boxing skills, but also, come on, bro. I'm a big fan of Errol Spence. You know what I mean? So the way how you just manhandle that man, it's just like. I can't like Bud Crawford, but nah, man, this is a guy that you really can't be friends with at all, bro. Like you just really can't. You always gotta just watch your tongue and just be ultimate respect. You show a little bit of criticism, even if it's your homie, he's gonna be like, man, what you talk about, bro? That's not what I do. Like, what do you mean, bro? And he'll step to you in your face. It's just like, bro, relax, give me some space. Like, we're just talking here, and then he's just. So foul, bro. So foul.
Yeah, he's the bully. He's definitely a bully.
He's a bully, bro.
Goes, oh man, you just mad because he whooped Spence's ass. Yeah, man. That was I like Errol Spence a lot. But no, when it comes down to
what happened,
Bud Crawford is top tier. But when it comes
what happened at the car shop, remember?
Human factor, nah, bro. That dude's grimy. Say again?
Remember what happened at the car shop? Something happened with his car or something like that. And then he ended up
with the mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a story where he was, look, Omaha, they got the mob, they got the KC stuff. They're a little different, bro, So when they were trying to figure out what was going on with his car, I don't really remember the story, but yeah, they like vandalized that dude's like mechanical shop or some shit like that.
Oh shit.
How you even know about that story? That thing is like 10 years old, bro.
We talked about it before, bro. And
damn.
Yeah, I got that story from you.
There's a little thing where the mechanic was trying to sue Bud Crawford for like, just tarnishing his business and stuff like that. The Mexican G goes, that's why I can't stand Crawford. Speaking of Stan, Crawford. Oh man, what are we talking about?
Oh my god. You're about to read it too.
Yeah, man. Nah, I don't really read stuff like that. Bro. You're crazy, bro. You're crazy.
That's why you stopped though, bro.
Adi Medi goes,
That's
want to know
crazy.
why all of the fire hydrants in LA are empty? Nah, man. Nah, you guys are foul.
Oh my
Dude,
God, you guys are so bad, man. So literally so bad, bro.
that woman, man. Dude, you guys.
That is cold, though. That is so cold, man. Man.
I ain't even gonna be reading those shits, bro. You guys can
Shit.
laugh it down, you know, man. That's crazy, man.
Crazy,
I
man.
will say one thing, though. None of you guys, none of you would dare say that in front of that guy. None of you. Not even from a mile away. You wouldn't even. He'd be
I'm gonna
like,
drive by.
Terrence Crawford. Hey, guys. Terrence Crawford, your wife's fat. And then run. That guy's a killer, guys. Literally, he got grazed by a bullet, right? And but if you guys think that's crazy, Mr. Frank Warren has a hole in his forehead because he got shot in the head. So I mean, man, like these guys are just straight killers, though.
But is the type to pull some out, you know?
Oh, of course.
He's the type to pull some out of the trunk, if you know what I mean, you know?
When it comes
But Gervonta Tank Davis is from Baltimore, bro. Like, I mean, he knows some stuff. He's known some stuff. He's seen some stuff.
But here's the thing with Bud Crawford, man, from just a competitive standpoint and just fighting, just like I'm saying, just fighting the top tier. But just as a human being, nah, bro. You know that dude. And that relationship that he had with his mom, oh, bro, that like at any given moment, he always had a chip on his shoulder wanting to prove something. Like you couldn't even say nothing. Like, hey, bro, you smell a little funny. Oh, what you mean, bro? You want to throw it down? Beat your ass up. And then before you even know, he already got you in a chokehold, and you're like, "Hi, mommy." You're already tapping out, bro. Like he's ready to go right then and there. You know, so like when that mentality is needed, and that's why he's as great as he is. You know, because he hears people talking shit. You know what I mean? And I can't wait because when Bud Crawford runs into Tank Davis, you get what I'm saying? Because come on, bro. Like there was no reason to like bring his wife into the mix. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. So okay, let's go. You know, forget Abdul Wahid. Let's talk about something else.
Hold on, weren't like real G's. There was family and the women were off limits. And on Sundays, on church day, you wouldn't, there was no street beef. And also this, when you ran to your grandma's house, you couldn't even touch. This was like holy.
Bro, Tank brought up his kids too.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like
crazy.
One thing is competitive. Like, hey, bro, you know, I don't think you shit. I'll knock you out. You know, I'll beat you up. That's just whatever's. But man, when you start going like ad hominem, like family Jeanette, bro, it's just like, bro, what are you doing, bro? Like this is beyond like boxing, you know, and it's like
crazy. Bro, Crawford's thinking about his
jokes aside, those are some funny ass jokes, but the way Tank brought it up, that's not like
in a joking manner.
That's not joking manner. See, Adi Medi, Mexican G, they're popping off jokes. That shit's funny. Hurtful but funny. With Tank, it was just like boom. It was just, oh, I'm trying to make you mad. You know?
Yeah. Dude, it's like he knows what's gonna piss him off, and it's like, dude, you're acting like a little kid. And and Crawford's probably thinking about his response right now. I mean, Crawford's thinking about his response. He's like, okay, should I respond to this guy? And because he's a type to pull up. He's a type to pull up, and Tank's, and he should. You should, bro. Like, bro, I'd be surprised, bro. Like, don't be surprised if he doesn't. If he does, you know. So.
Hey, just off topic, just completely off topic. So I've been dealing with, I don't know, some like mad case of like allergies or something, bro. Like my right eye cannot stop crying right now, you know. And whatchamacallit, like when you guys take aspirin, are you guys supposed to take it with like food or like on an empty stomach and just pound it back with like water, or are you supposed to eat something? Because last night I took
you're supposed to take it with food. Aspirin is very, very harmful to your stomach otherwise.
Yeah, okay. I thought so because I was, damn, bro. Like,
And aspirin has nothing to do with a teary eye, bro.
Yeah, I
I don't
know.
know why you're taking aspirin.
But
Yeah,
no, when I'm not talking about like I need pain, but I guess one of the things that it reduces is like, you know, and maybe I read the instructions wrong because I can't really see that well, but you know what I mean? It was like allergies and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Well, allergies, you want to tell him about how to cook himself up a nice solution for that dream?
well, I mean, that's different. He's talking about his eyes.
Well,
You know?
allergies can affect the eyeballs too.
Okay.
Like my
Yeah.
right eye cannot stop, bro. Like it's just like it's just like my left eye is the most driest eye. And then the right one is just, you ever seen that No Sean Moreno when he's like crying to the national anthem and there's like big old tears that drop down that side? It's like, bro, it's the same thing with my right face.
I
Bro.
would
Like, what the fuck is
try
going
some
on?
eye drops. Eye drops. That's what I would think. But
Yeah, 'cause-
honestly, if it's your allergies, because that's a weird sensation then you're going through. But just maybe if you want to try, when you get home, like just boil some water, and then you add a teaspoon of salt.
fuck out, dog.
All that teaspoon of baking soda,
Dream, they're
and
talking to you, bro. I mean, Rick, they're talking to you. It's a 2 cups of water,
No, I'm
one teaspoon
one
of
cup of water.
salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. You
Oh yeah.
boil that, throw in 1 teaspoon and 1 teaspoon of each, equal parts. Let it cool down and run it through the nasal passages, right? Run it through your orifices in your face. Squirt it on one nostril, let it run out the other, and then that'll clear you in a matter of a day or two, right? Get proper shut eye. Take your emergency vitamins, and you'll be fine. But if you think you're just gonna cry your balls out, right? Your eyeballs out, and think you're gonna get healthier. You're not gonna get healthier, especially if you're getting a bout of allergies. I'm not too sure what kind of allergies you may be getting this early in the winter. I mean, this midway into the winter. But I mean, you got to
well,
do that. If not,
yeah, like
you're not gonna get better.
it's a lot of moquillo, you know what I mean? A lot of snot. So I blow that out, and then it just makes my right side, my eye, just like cry, and it just won't stop. And right now the moquillo is gone, so I don't really feel too congested. But like these, and I've gotten good sleep, bro. Like I want to sleep at 12. I woke up like at 5:45, peed, went back to sleep, woke up at 9. So I mean, it was solid, bro. That's like 8 good hours. And but bro, I woke up and I'm still like fucking out of it still. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck is going on? And I took some aspirin yesterday and it calmed it down. It's not like I had headaches or any pains or anything, but I heard, that this is supposed to be some pretty good to like alleviate a little bit of that, and it worked. But bro, it felt like Pacquiao punched me in my solar plexus like 4 times. I was like, bro, what is going on with my stomach? And I didn't
Okay, we don't want to hear about your snot. Let's talk about Anthony Joshua and Martin Bacoli.
God damn it.
So, Anthony Joshua, I don't know if you guys read this report on World Boxing News, just written today on the 14th of January, current year 2025, year of our Lord, by Mr. Phil J, titled Anthony Joshua has next fight lined up after Tyson Fury collapse. It's not really a collapse, by the way. If you guys take Luke Tyson Fury at his word, the man apparently has retired. Now, we can discuss on whether or not we believe, if there is any veracity, if there is any honesty, in Luke Tyson Fury announcing his retirement, right? But we know that Matchroom and Mr. Frank Warren had, if I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking it was Matchroom, had made reservations for Wembley for particular dates, I believe in June, for Fury and AJ to fight each other. Then, shortly after they announced that the venue has been reserved, all of a sudden, what do we do? Well, of course, the jester, the monkey in the wrench of Luke Tyson Fury, as he's always been, the unpredictable Luke Tyson Fury announces his retirement. And it was a very unceremonious announcement, right? He just comes on real quick for like 30 seconds or a minute. Hey, guys, I just wanted to tell you I'm going to make this real brief and short. I'm retiring from the sport. Thank you very much. Whoop de whoop, blah, blah, blah. Right? Now, everybody's scrambling to see if whether or not this fight is taking place. According to this report on World Boxing News, Martin Bacoli He's gonna be hosting a fight with Turki Ali Sheik, apparently and potentially in Africa, which is a venue that Anthony Joshua has always wanted to fight in. He's always wanted to take a fight to his homeland of Nigeria. And of course, Bakoli is from the Republic of the Congo, right? So these two dangerous, huge, powerful black men have dreamed about fighting in their homelands. And now, in the absence and possible retirement of Luke Tyson Fury and Mr. Turki Ali Sheik putting up the big money, that fight might take place. Guys, let me ask you guys something. One, do you think that fight is really going to happen? Do you think Wembley is going to give back these guys' money? I doubt it, right? And let these guys fight somewhere in Africa with the under the auspices and the financial support of Mr. Turki Ali Sheik and Riyadh season? Or do you think at the last minute Turki Ali Sheik will go deep into his coffers, pull out a big old purse of gold coins, drop it right on the table of Luke Tyson Fury and say, "Are you really retired?"
Well, here's the thing. See, Tyson's smart because if he announces the world, "Oh, I'm retired," you have to give him a lot of money so he can come out of retirement. I'm living my best life, guys. Why do I want to come out of retirement for Joshua? Well, how does sound? Nah, pass. How does 150 million sound? Oh, well, I mean, that's good enough for me to come out of retirement and, not be with my wife, Paris. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's smart business for him because he knows we don't really care to see you fight right now. Tyson, we want what's next for Usyk. But if you bring back a fight with Joshua, now he's like, okay, that interests me. I know there's a market that we can sell to the UK London fans. Now the question is, what's my guaranteed purse? See, that's very smart. It's kind of like Tank Davis, right? Tank and Fury, very similar fighter in terms of how they think, right? Tank, all he cares is about the guaranteed money, right? But when there is no buzz, he starts a beef with Floyd Mayweather. When there is no buzz, yeah, man, I'm tired of this boxing shit. I want to retire because there's no buzz. And that's what gets people to talk about just for a little bit. Same thing with Fury. It's like, bro, how many times have you guys retired? Now, you guys can see, this is one thing that I've learned about people that actually retire from things. You don't ever hear from them ever again. You get what I'm saying? Like, they just vanish. They don't really announce it. They rarely do because they don't want, like, people be like, oh, no. That's what drama queens do. They want the attention. So when guys like Tank, guys like Fury announce a retirement, it's like, it's fake. It's phony. It holds no weight. If they were just to be gone and you didn't hear nothing about them, you'd be like, damn, bro, what the hell's going on with Fury? He's not very active on social media, but that's what they do for clicks because boxing moved on. It's funny that the guys that need a little bit of conversation, Fury, did he go to the ceremony today? I don't think he was there. When you look at Tank Davis, he wasn't even invited. But yet these two dudes somehow announced some type of beef, some type of announcement, just so people can talk about them. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people give Tyson Fury a lot of respect. And here's this guy that really doesn't deserve it, a lot of it. You get what I'm saying? Like, how many times did he ever give us the Klitschko rematch? He never did. How many times did he beat around the bush to, like, announce that he was going to fight Joshua and stuff? It never happened. You get what I'm saying? It never happened. And he wasn't even going to give us the Alexander Usyk fight unless he got paid an extraordinary amount of money that the market wasn't really going to be worth it until Turki Ali Sheik came into the picture. They weren't even going to run it for a second time if Turki didn't come out right. And then now he wants Turki to pay him even more. You get what I'm saying? So it's like when it comes down to Fury, Who cares, bro? Who like he didn't make the heavyweight division great at all. Most of his fights were boring as hell. And like before Deontay Wilder, almost all of his fights were garbage. Horrible fight. One of the most horriblest, boringest fucking fighters. But he used to talk a lot of shit. Fury. As for Tank, yeah, bro, you got explosive knockouts because you're fighting the Amir Khans of the world, guys that you're supposed to beat. So yeah, Canelo can get splash knockouts against Amir Khans. You can get them against guys like, Frank Martin, but you couldn't even get it against Yuruki's Gamboa. So it's just like, how really great are these dudes? And like, they won't really be missed. Because guys that just go out of their way, look at Lomachenko. You don't hear really anything about him when it comes down to boxing. They just go out of into the world and just go on to something else.
Manny Pacquiao.
And that's absolutely Manny Pacquiao. And that's what
he retired and he never even said goodbye to us. Like, I really hold that against him. I really do hold that against him.
Hold on. And that's what true retirement looks like. You don't need to announce it to the world. You just go on about your way.
How do you feel about that, Dream? Do you feel justified in Manny Pacquiao, Emmanuel Dapidan Pacquiao, right? He walked away from the sport for all intents and purposes. It wasn't even him who retired. In fact, Canastota is the one who officially retired him. Canastota, the Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota, New York, you have to be retired. You have to be retired from the sport 3 years at least in order for you to make it to become an inductee, to be considered, right? A person that can be voted into the Hall of Fame. Of course, we already knew that Manny Pacquiao was going to be a shoe-in Hall of Famer. In my opinion, guys, I believe is the greatest fighter of all time. There was no question in my eyes, in my mind, that guy would make it to the Hall of Fame once he announced his retirement in 2.5 years from that date, when they would have that vote. And then in 3 years, they would inaugurate him and call him a Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, because he never officially announced his retirement and because of the long layoff, Canastota, they basically deemed them a retired fighter. Now, if you know anything about Manny Pacquiao, he walked in there and, of course, he gave thanks to the boxing world. He accepted his reward. And a few days after, he was saying that he was in negotiations with the PBC of all organizations to make a possible Mario Barrios fight.
So he got his award for retirement, basically not fighting for 3 years. So he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. They gave him a reward, and now he wants to come back.
I'm telling you, this is like, Manny, what is wrong with you, bro? Like, you're doing everything wrong, right? Like, if you're gonna say goodbye to the sport, but you don't expect to come back at 46 years of age or whatever and fight Mario Barrios, right? 3 years detached from the sport and the whole boxing world considering you a retired fighter. What are you doing with yourself? Like, I mean, I love the guy. I think I'd watch that fight, right? But I think the thing is this: I feel very bitter for the way that Manny Pacquiao just never said goodbye to us. He was, I'm pretty sure, about 90% of the boxing world's favorite fighter, right? And if you didn't like him, it's because, I don't know, maybe you're a big old Mayweather fanboy. But he really was the best thing to happen in the sport for about 3 decades, guys. It's ridiculous.
Manny Pacquiao fights Juan Manuel Marquez or Mayweather in an exhibition. It's just like, he can possibly beat Mario Barrios, but it's like, Pacquiao, bro, it's like, whatever money you're gonna get paid for that fight, it's nowhere near what you can get paid for a Mayweather or Juan Manuel Marquez exhibition bout. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, I never understood why a fighter makes such a late comeback when it's like, you won't earn as much money, but why don't you just become an amazing trainer? Why don't you open up an amazing boxing gym and just at the heart of the Philippines and try to rake in the best talent, have like a Hunger Games gauntlet exhibition things. The fighter who wins this tournament, regardless of weight class, boom, that's who I'm trying to train.
Hey, they need to get all the guys that sing karaoke and put them in,
and play basketball.
yeah, and play basketball hella good and not ping pong. They don't do. They're just those two. Not ping pong. That's like China. China owns that sport. But yeah, they're like all those guys put them in a gauntlet, like he said. But yeah,
God.
sorry to interrupt.
Basically, what I'm saying is that's what you can do. It's essentially a Royal Rumble, and then
Yeah.
whoever fucking fights the best, that's who you put your hands on. Like that's who I'm gonna promote. That's the next person right there. It's but you accelerate the process and you build a tournament like that, and that's what these guys should do. It's like if you're retired, don't try to make a comeback. There's a lot of money being thrown around. It's like sure, just become a trainer. It's the proper way to do it. You know what I mean? So when Pacquiao, like I'm not interested in seeing him cut the line and fight Mario Barrios because
Nope.
thinking with Conor Ben. Conor Ben probably beats Mario Barrios, but bro, you've been fighting litigation to clear your name for 2 years. You've lost 2 years of your prime, and you don't get to cut in line.
No, he's been fighting, homie Ricky. He's been fighting. I mean, he only took off a whole year in litigation, but he's already had 2 fights since then. Both of them in Florida.
But here's the thing: but beating guys or probably losing guys to Adrian Granados doesn't get you a WBC shot. Neither does for Mario Barrios for that exact reason either. But at least he beat your Dennis Ugas. At least somebody reputable, whatever the case may be. These guys don't deserve to get the cut in line and then just get straight to a title shot because then it loses the significance of who those champions are when there's much more credible ones. Where I'm just be like, hey, yo, Conor, you might think you're the goods, but I want you to fight Karen. And if you're really that dude and you can beat Karen, because I believe Karen deserves a shot of Mario Barrios in the WBC belt before you get in line. Before Pacquiao gets in line. And I know you guys think they might be proven or whatever, but years of inactivity, that causes that. I want to see him become a champion because he did extremely well. And I would love to see him running back for a trilogy unification or even a fight with Brian Norman. But Karen
Oh my God.
Bro,
That fight. I want that fight. I want that fight.
Bro, you said Ugas lost to Pacquiao? Is that what you just said?
No, Pacquiao beat Uga. Oh, this guy, yeah, he probably said something like that.
Beat Pacquiao, bro. What?
Oh,
Yeah, Ugas beat Pacquiao.
Okay, I thought you said the other way around.
340, bub.
Nah, because you said I thought you said the man beat Ugas, and I was like, no, Ugas beat
Mario Barrios beat Ugas.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he even knocked him down like 2-3 times in that fight, bro. It was
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, Barrios ain't hitting like that, dog. Like, how you Ugas what? Like crazy, man. But it
He
is
just gotta. His combination is dangerous. It's just he doesn't know how to follow up after that combination, and he's just like doesn't get him out of there. Kind of like how he did Fabian Maidana.
Does Eddie Hearn in this video right here? Doesn't he look a little stressed? That looks like, Oscar De La Hoya might just win those big fights, man.
He probably just got done with Sky. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh
man.
God, my God, Dream.
No, maybe, bro. I almost feel like that red line, all right, from Eddie Hearn. Feeling that heat, bro. I think Oscar's bringing that heat. It's like, how can I outsmart this motherfucker, man? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
I will never stop about that, bro.
Teofimo Lopez. He's really gonna make the Ryan Teofimo Lopez fight. Is Madrimov gonna lose to Virgil Ortiz? Is little kid Austin gonna beat Shakur Stevenson? Bro, there's a lot of things that Eddie Hearn is contemplating. He might just get 5-0 again.
You know what? Okay, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about this one right here. This is the most important thing that we can address in this here live, right? Question: who's the finest female boxer in the world right now? And you're gonna say, why did you say female? Yeah, no, okay. Who's the finest boxer in the world?
No, I would no. Well,
my wife listens to my lives, bro. What the fuck are you asking?
I know. I don't know. Like what,
bro? You gotta get her to wash the dishes or something, bro.
What kind of question are you talking
Oh
about?
my god, bro.
This guy's like, oh my god, what kind of question is that? Okay, is Sky Nicholson like the prettiest, most boring fighter that's ever lived?
The prettiest, most I don't even know if that makes sense. The prettiest and the boringness, like I don't know.
You know, okay, pretty women excite you, but that's the oxymoronic thing about her. She is the most boring female fighter in the sport, right? She has nothing else
No, that's not
besides
true.
just a
There's a
jab
lot of
and a
that's not
step
true.
back.
That's not true. Hold on. There's a lot of females that actually have that boring style, like Michaela Mayer. It's just the ones that have high amateur pedigree and do actually what they were taught, like the fundamentals and all that. Those tend to go the distance a lot and go round by round just because women, I mean, it's just they don't knock each other out. You notice that? So that's just more like the nature of the female boxing, I don't know. But yeah, but I don't know. You're tripping, bro. I was just saying about Sky, bro, just
Let's sit
because.
this one out, folks. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Huh?
Nah,
No, 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 no. Here's the thing, bro. Sky Nicholson makes me so happy that the
Whoa.
female side of boxing is only 2 minutes long. Because man, I could not watch 3 minute rounds of that woman just jabbing and stepping back and circling around, having all the physical dimensions as her advantages. That fighter is it's up there with Shakur Stevens. I'm not too sure who is more boring between her and Shakur Stevens. At least I think in the case of Shakur Stevens, at least he can dog it out, right? If you bring him the fight, he can put you down on your butt like he did with Oscar Valdez, right?
he never
With
dropped out. Oh yeah, I guess he did. He did drop.
yeah, he check took them,
But that
right?
was
He checked.
more of a twist and pivot. Valdez overcommitted to a lunge, lost his footing, he threw an uppercut and whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No great difference from what Sky Nicholson would do. But man, I really I've watched Sky Nicholson fights, right?
Oh, just
And
talking
because
about Ty Nicholson makes like when it comes down to boxing, I'm already bored. Like I
yeah,
don't even think she ever has like an amazing highlight of punch sequence combination. Like there's nothing that like, oh my god, did you watch that one too? Did you see that one too? It's like say like, oh, did you see Bivol? His highlights? And Bivol has highlights. Like that guy actually is one of the only fighters that threw probably a 12 punch combination on Canelo and had Canelo up against the ropes. That's not Sky Nicholson, bro.
well, there was that one fight, right? There
People,
was that one fight where
people try to tell me that Sky Nicholson is an amazing boxer. I'm like, no, because
literally
he does the same exact thing.
one trick pony.
He throws 12, 14 punch combinations against guys like Canelo, pound for pound king. Sky Nicholson won't. So when it comes down to who's the greatest female boxer into your category, Amanda Serrano, bro. Hands down. 2-time robbed against Katie Taylor. And I'm really grateful. I won this fight. Let's run again. Bro, horrible. Horrible, bro. Stop it. Amanda Serrano is
Thank you guys.
yeah, dude. Eddie goes, Vince. Oh man, why did I even go to that comment? The Mexican she goes, Ebony Bridges is the only female boxer I like watching. El Pachuco goes, Nicholson, the female version.
Okay.
Stevenson. It even rhymes. Stevenson,
Yeah.
Nicholson.
Hey, okay, so
TV has the best ring girls. Shout out to Pro Box, bro, because
Yeah,
they're
shout
the only ones that kept the ring girls.
Yeah.
Golden Boy used to have like the Tecate girls, Top Rank. I think still Top Rank still keeps the Bud Light girls, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, I ain't reading
Dude,
that.
okay, out of all the let me admit something. Out of all the female boxers, the one that arouses me the most is Ebony, because she actually poses and she almost identifies herself as a porn star. Like she's
because
out there.
she is.
Yeah, she's out there, bro. So
Like her friend
that's the
is
one.
it is one. The other girl.
Yeah. You bought it, huh?
You
bought it.
Yeah.
You bought it.
You bought it. You bought it.
You bought it.
It sounds
Oh
like you
my
bought it, bro.
god. You bought it.
Look, man, you guys are kind of straying away from this whole situation. I was just talking about Eddie Hearn, bro. You guys had to make it like, oh, he's flustered because he was just with Sky Nicholson. Relax, relax, guys. Look, man.
Hot
Eddie
and bothered.
Cyborg is UFC. My bad. Yeah, man. When you said Cyborg, I was like, hey, where are you going here, man? Look, Gabriela Fondora, bro. Basically, Sky Nicholson, southpaw throws, but she throws punches, bro. And that's what Sky Nicholson needs to understand. Yeah, you can arouse the guys because you got that look. But when they come to fights, they don't come to see pretty girls. They come to see pretty girls beat ass. And that's what Sky Nicholson needs to do. And here's the thing. I believe Sky Nicholson can actually fight. But she refuses to. And that's the problem. Because she has, she got good punching technique. She has the good footwork. She understands, but she's just comfortable by throwing 3 punches and landing those 3 punches and then killing 2 minutes. So she's afraid. She's not really a gladiator. She's not tough enough. And she refuses to prove to the world that she's tough enough. And I don't mean that she needs to be there and lose her assets, lose her skills to take a punch just so she can prove to us. No, I'm just saying that you are 7-0, no knockouts, when you could be 7-0 with 7 knockouts. Because of the way that she adverse risk, right, is the reason why you won't get the fight with Amanda Serrano.
Liv Morgan.
And
Yeah.
you could possibly beat her. But nobody wants to see you versus her. That's not even a topic in conversation because it's just like you won't ever show from a microcosm of what Amanda put herself through in both Katie Taylor fights, let alone 1 minute of Amanda's world. So you can't mess with Amanda in her world. You get what I'm saying? Nicholson will never do that. That big old gash that Amanda had, and she fought for the next 10 rounds, 8 rounds after that happened in the second round, Sky Nicholson would have quit right then and there in that store and be like, yeah, I can't see. And that's the different level of mentality. When people come to see fights, that's why they're on Netflix, and that's why you're Eddie Hearn's sweetheart. That's the difference. Yeah.
Hey, guys, okay. So Arimeri and the Mexican G are bringing up a good couple of fighters, right? Let's just read a couple of these comments because these guys are very animated today. They got a lot of things going on about what's going on, right? Have you guys? Okay, let's see. Let's going back to.
I was actually listening to Paulie Malignaggi today too. He was on TV.
Nobody listens to Paulie Malignaggi. Callum Smith supposedly retired, and I corrected him. He said, "No, I'm sorry. I think you're no Callum Simpson." I told him, "No, I think you're referring to Callum Smith." Oh, my bad. Right? He was mistaken. He says that there was a fighter. The Mexican G says that the fighter who did retire was a fighter by the name of Dixon Dykson Miaz. Have you guys ever heard of Dykson Miaz? Who is Dykson Miaz? I've never heard of Dykson Miaz. And Adi Medi corrects him and says that Tank beat the man, the myth, the legend, Ice Waylo Kome. Who is Ice Waylo Kome? Ice Waylo Kome.
You're dumb, dude. I swear, bro.
Who is really? Who are these guys? Imani Khalif, Nick Gears. Who is Nick? Oh, what the? Wait, man, I feel like I'm that guy from that bar on The Simpsons. Is there a dicks and butts in ears? Is there dicks and butts?
Oh, dude,
you guys are pulling my chain, bro.
You're falling for it, man.
You're down, dude. I swear, man. But
oh my god, you guys are mean, bro. Bro, you guys are so mean, man. I think they're playing with me. They think I'm that guy from that bar in The Simpsons. Clarissa Shields would get Adi Medi pregnant. Liv Morgan gets me HARD. Yup, yeah. Adi Medi, Liv Morgan is a beautiful lady, right? Absolutely beautiful. Man, thank goodness my wife doesn't listen to my lives. She hates me.
Fuck. Yo, man, let me ask you guys. You guys talked a little bit about the conspiracies with fires. You guys
No
kind of
queen.
brought it up. Did you guys? What'd you guys talk about, man?
Yeah, we
When?
talked about that.
Oh, during the dude.
Because I'm
Yeah,
just
we talked about it.
real-
We solved that crime already, huh?
a lot
Dream.
of
Yeah.
a lot of people are talking about those smart cities, and that's one of the reasons why, like, oh, it got burned down, and there was no water
No.
in the fire hydrants, and there was nothing in the damp, and all of these things. And let me ask you guys this: California is always big on innovation, right? Like in terms of big tech and stuff like that. Why is that a bad thing though? Like the smart cities.
What do you mean?
Because
No.
that's one of the conspiracies. They're like, oh man, they're burning down these cities because then there's going to be these big investors like BlackRock, right, that are going to probably try to purchase this land. That's what they try to do in Hawaii and all of these things. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what's wrong with smart cities? What's wrong with innovation?
Okay, so that was one of the conspiracies that I had, right? Like, it's.
But my
I don't
thing
know,
is, what's the problem with that? Like when we talk about the Sherlock Holmes in the 21st century, when the cartoons were coming up, when we talk about Blade Runner 2088 or whatever the stuff things are like that, what's wrong with pushing the boundaries forward and creating something futuristic? Like is that bad? Because I remember watching this documentary. It's called Zeitgeist, right? Hold on, Zeitgeist. Documentary, and there's a 3-piece documentary. The best one is the first one, right? Was it this one? Hold on. Give me a second.
Or two, where various nations took turns.
I think it's this documentary. Maybe it's on YouTube, but there's 3 of them. And anyway, in this Zeitgeist documentary, it talks about what the world needs to do in order to move forward, right? And they start talking about being eco-friendly and all of these things, right? In terms of like, they also are pretty radical as well when it comes down to like, there's not going to be a lot of incentive with money, right? Everyone's going to be basically like, everyone's going to have the similar income. So you can get the bare necessities. And then there's these things with the 15-minute cities and all of that stuff. So my thing is, what I'm saying is, if people want universal health care, if you want access to good food and all that stuff, and like true equality, a lot of people would call it communism or whatever, everyone's equal from doctors to the grocery bag workers, all of that stuff, right? If you want true, like, removing ego, that's what basically Zeitgeist they introduce, right? So when I think about smart cities and stuff like that, I'm not in agreement with burning down somebody's whole house and where they reside in order to instill this. Absolutely not. But I'm just talking about just smart cities in terms of progress and innovation. It's not a bad thing. Burning people's homes and family heirlooms and stuff, of course, that's a crime. But I'm just talking about smart cities in general, the concept of it. Like, for example, look at San Francisco, a lot of vacated buildings. I was there not too long ago, right? Turn that into a smart city. It's already seen as one. So make it over there. They have Waymo, self-driven vehicle taxis, stuff like that. Now, the thing is, now you're allocating, not resources, but what do you call it? Gentrifying people, and you're pushing them out. So now you have to house them. So I'm just trying to say, like, in general, smart city isn't bad. But
What do we mean by smart city though? Like reconstruction?
my brother, let me put my Louis Farrakhan hat on real quick.
Because honestly, like, I mean, I deal with like permitting and city permitting and I don't know, like it's just like I'm in the solar field. Like I see how developments are coming in for solar. It's not just solar now; it's now battery. So it's just.
So I don't know if I can put these videos up because they'll probably strike me down because I always show people this content, and I'm not trying to pawn it as my own. I understand people's is grind, but in terms of educational purposes, it is what it is. But just Google it, Drew, when you have the time. And then there's like the Saudi Arabia straight line and stuff like that. Adi Medi goes, they're not going to purchase it. They're going to take it through eminent domain. However, eminent domain only relies if the government, right? It's like, oh, this is for governmental projects like building a bridge. You can fight somewhat against that.
Exactly. No, you're
A
right.
smart city, but just to build a city, I don't think so. It would be something much more impactful, not just like, oh, there's just a certain amount of people. Like the government just can't be like, oh, that's mine. There actually has to be like jurisdictional things like, oh, building bridges over this bypass or whatever the case. You know what I mean? It can't just be like, I mean, I don't know. Or else they would be like, then nothing really you truly own. You get what I'm saying? Like if it's like, oh, we're gonna do this from Monterey, big old bridge from Monterey to Santa Cruz and just cut across the Pacific. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, this land. Anyway, whatever. But I don't think they can just like. Adi Medi goes, the dream is on it. Attack! What'd you say?
Nah, dude. Honestly, like that thing, that all that stuff is happening little by little. Like it's already here. Literally, if there's some people have batteries and they can repower their homes, and then some of these buildings right here, they can actually lose power and they're actually regenerated by a battery on the roof. Some of them, there's only once a building is built, like it's just so much work to actually set up cranes and to add something new to it. It takes it's not cost efficient. So I don't know exactly, but I know they're already in on it to where they're building buildings right now, like kind of like, okay, you're talking about the Saudi stuff. Yeah, I heard about
That's
that.
just one example,
That one right there.
15-minute cities, the smart cities, and stuff like that.
So that right there is one of my conspiracies. I think that right there is going to be the city if a tsunami ever hits the world, and that's going to be the ones.
But why would it be a conspiracy though? Like, what do you mean? Like, you think they're using HARP and this technology to like flood cities and then just start like a big old Moses situation and wash away everything and then just like start.
You hit the nail on the head. I'm just kidding, but that's what I think, honestly, bro. Like HARP, in my opinion, if it affects all that, like that's why you see that's why you've seen fires get started in Carmel. I just feel like and those fires, bro, it was arson, but I just feel like you don't see tornadoes out here in Scotts Valley. You don't see, and you don't see the tide moving up in Santa Cruz and actually taking down the wharf. Like all that shit is hard, bro. Like all that shit is hard, bro.
I understand this though. Like I hear what you're saying. So we're touching more closer to home, folks. So like we live in the Central Coast area, right? More closer to anyway, the Monterey County area. So for example, we live in, let's say, Monterey, bro.
Central Coast.
So yeah, right. So Monterey and stuff like that, Seaside and Marina, all that stuff. You don't think eventually that there's gonna be the Pacific Ocean with some strong ass tides and they're gonna get closer? Like that's just logical, bro. Like you live by the ocean. Like it's only a matter of time before you're like, maybe probably should have been there. Like if I have a home in Pacific Grove and I'm right there on Ocean Boulevard, you don't think one day it's gonna be, the water, the ocean is gonna come over to my, to my land? Yeah, you do. You're just like, 30 yards away from the ocean. That's just logical. So when you see those things like the wharf, the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk and stuff like that get damaged and the piers, like, duh, you're going up against Mother Nature, bro. Like, that's just logical. It's only going to be a matter of time, maybe not here, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, that it's going to hit. So it's due. Like, how many times have we seen movies like San Andreas? And how many times when we were talking about tectonic plates in the 4th grade and we did that little thing with the sand in the water and we showed all of this, the plates crashing over and stuff like that. How many times have they fear-mongered us and telling us like, oh, dude, what happened in 1989, we're due for an earthquake. You get what I'm saying? So that's logical. So it's only a matter of time when you ask yourself, what do? Well, we prepare as best as we can. And probably the best thing to do, is not own a lot of
run.
Exactly. Not own a lot of things so you can east upon if there's a big danger. The thing is, that's what's problem is. Me as a big consumer, right? I'm not willing to leave my belongings. My question is, should I have been buying that all along this whole time? So we're missing the picture. You get what I'm saying? Because in terms of the more important things, take your family, you take an emergency kit, medical records, maybe some medicine, some food. boom, you're gone.
Would you take your Pokemon cards?
Pokemon cards, you don't worry. That's what I'm saying. You don't care about your wardrobe if you just had the basic necessities to make yourself look clean.
Here, I'll take my Typhlosion though.
When you start, yeah. So you get what I'm saying? So
allow me to just give a little. Let me to give a little explanation of what a 15-minute city is. And of course, Adi Mehdi hints at that when he says that it is high-density housing. Well, that is actually a big, important part of it, right? The concept of the 15-minute city, right? And I'm just going to read to you from a report called the Bureau of Investigative Journalism. It states 15-minute cities and the related idea of 20-minute neighborhoods, as defined by the academics and city planners who have proposed them, are indeed about town planning. Okay, the key term here is planning. The core idea that everything required for daily life, such as shops or a doctor, should be a short walk or cycle from home has been around for decades. The concept, however, was more clearly laid out in the middle of the 2010s when an academic, I think he was from Spain, Carlos Moreno, came up with a set of principles for how cities should be rebuilt to bring amenities within easy reach of their inhabitants. Now, if we read into this report right there, this paragraph, right, for the most part, it seems like it is going to be a very well planned, organized type of lifestyle, right? A setting for which you can live in complete comfort and easy access to purchasing and also to healthcare, on account of that everything will be within a walking or bicycling distance from where you reside.
is that a
Right?
utopia?
It is not a utopia, because a utopia means absolute perfection, and there really is no such thing as a utopia. A utopia is an ideal because everybody has a different opinion of what idealism is. Right? As long as you and I have a difference of opinion, there cannot be a utopia. So there's no such thing.
No, but what
Utopia
I'm
is
saying
a dream.
when we're talking about caring and getting your needs, the function, bro. You
The
see,
problem with that, though, the
hold on.
problem with that, again, that the concept here that I was trying to explain is the key term is planning.
So hold on, let
All
me tell
right?
you something. Adi Mehdi said something very interesting. One car per household to reduce carbon footprinting, right? So
Uh,
concept of global warming. Speed, how many cars you got? Drew, how many
I
cars?
have about 8.
Okay. 8 too many, right?
It depends on what you mean by too many, right?
What do
This
you
is
And
a
yours hurt my eyes.
capitalistic consumer-based society. This
Okay.
is the one driver. This is the one driver for what has made a great America as great and as powerful as it has been. The desire to want more than the next person.
Absolutely. So you're feeding into the what? The ego. I got a Pokemon. I gotta catch them
Uh-huh.
all. I'm gonna tell you guys something. I don't know.
Speeds,
I don't
speeds.
even know.
One of Speed's
Wait,
cars.
Wait,
Hold on.
wait.
One of Speed's cars hurt my eyes when I get too close to it. What does that mean?
I
Like
don't
it
know what
hurts
it
my
means,
eyes. I
man.
start
So
like that. Remember it hurt? Remember you were in front of my house?
Oh yeah, that's a bad emissions, bro. That's a vehicle that's out of tune, needs a tune up and it's out of carburation.
you
Yeah,
have
that hurt my
you
eyes.
said you had 8 cars.
Look, again, let's first,
Wait.
before we address, wait up, homie Ricky, before we start to address a topic without even delineating and describing and defining it, we have to actually explain what it is, right? I don't think you've made it justice. I don't think you really explained to our listeners now, or the ones that will come and listen afterwards, what a 15-minute city is. You already decided that you know what a 15-minute city is, and that because you know enough of the 15-minute city concept, you can probably start to provide an opinion about egotism and about conservation of resources and about topics as idealistic as utopia. That's ridiculous. Why don't we talk about what a 15-minute city is. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to explain to you what a 15-minute city is so that you can provide an informed opinion.
Hold on, you already did. And if you can't do that with 5 minutes, then you don't know what it is if you got to talk about it for 3 hours. What are you
Okay, so you think a concept like a 15-minute city, which is probably going to be a future according to your egoless ideations, right? This utopian ideal of people without egos and without selfishness, that you think it's a good idea because, oh, it's utopian. Listen, homie Ricky, if you want to give up your rights as an American to own things, and you want to do the Klaus Schwab's New World Order, giving up your rights, socialist, self-destructive ideations, go for it, bro. But I am an American to the core.
Because see, this is what it's all about. You see, this is where we're wrong. I'm gonna tell you why Americans are no longer as productive or the powerhouse that we used to be, and why there's so many people on medication and there's high cases of depression in the United States. It's because of exactly that, wanting more. That's where that word zeitgeist comes from. It's our level of thinking, how we're thinking during our time and space. And that's why these people, Americans, we have this problem. That's why we're very disgruntled. That's why a lot of people are claiming civil war, because they want the change. But once you're presented the change, guess what? Against concepts like a zeitgeist, like a smart city, progressing mankind forward into the more important things. See, guys like Elon Musk, they want to go to Mars. They want to have, rockets that travel the world so people can, like an airplane, and see the whole world. And they try to go to these other planets and other galaxies and trying to like put atomic bombs in the poles of Mars so they can make it hospitable and all of these things. Bro, why don't you just try to preserve the beautiful earth that we have? You're so fucking smart, right? Make this world greater. Don't try to leave like Elysium and go to a different one and try to build and start new. Start it right here. You see?
This is the problem. Hold on.
But hold on. So that the problem is this, what Adi Mehdi says, don't mess with Speed's vehicles. There's no need to have fucking A, bro. The biggest problem, and my parents have told me this,
Spoken like a true communist.
And see, that's where you're going already. Every person.
That's exactly the concept of communism. The communists, the planners, will tell you what you can and cannot own.
I'll give you I guarantee you, every single one of in our chat right now, everybody has a TV in their room. But when we were growing up, we had one TV and everybody played Nintendo on that TV. Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Now everybody is in their bed, separate from one another, communal, right? And they're isolated, all in their own little world and their own little space. Everybody needs their own fucking car to go to work, to go to class. No one is, dad driving all together, grocery shopping. Everyone's going their own thing. You're going to Target. You only buy a shop at, Walmart. You only shop at Best Buy. We don't ever do things together anymore. And that's what's going on about that stuff. That's the problem. So when we present these new things of just the bare necessities, that's where you guys are like, no, hell no. I want more. I want more. And that's why Americans are depressed. That's exactly why a lot of Americans are depressed. And that's why they're unhappy. You can't tell me otherwise, because this is studied. This is psychology. It's in social, economical, political books. And you know them. You just don't want to get away with your 8 cars.
It doesn't matter, because for the person that's depressed, there's a lot of people that are discovering what they want out of life because of the choices that luxury and abundance and selection and opportunity and variation provides, right? There is always going to be a counter argument for your argument. Right? Yeah, you're talking about how everybody would gather around the one television at a home, father, mother, and child, as the child played Nintendo and had those moments of togetherness. Absolutely. There is going to be a separation of the family unit and of things that are more communal like that, when there is an opportunity for each person to start investigating what the world has to offer to them by their own ability to experiment and discover what they wanted of life, right? There was one television once in the home, right? Now there is a television in every single room. The homie Ricky is not tethered to warp speed watching a show on Tubi, right? Because that's the only television there is. If homie Ricky wants to, he can walk away and go into his own room and watch his own favorite television show on Netflix, right? You're talking about like if it's a bad thing for you to discover what it is that you like out of life, because there is abundance.
I
And
feel like,
because
yeah, exactly.
everybody has to have a different thing. Homie Ricky, why don't you do this if you really feel like that? Because here's where the hypocrisy comes into place,
Uh,
right? And this is the problem with the 50-minute city planners. These planners, these hypocrites, they want you to live that life, but they want everything for themselves. They want you to get rid of your cars while they fly away in multi-million dollar luxury
uh,
vessels in the sky
yeah. I feel
and their
like
100-foot yachts. This is
uh,
what they want. They want you confined to a 10 by 10 room in an enclosed environment, living in a multiplex, while they have the whole mountains of Montana, Nevada, and all of these other places to themselves. This is the foolhardiness of people like you that believe that these things are
uh,
ideal. These planners are not planning for your well-being. They're planning for your confinement, the limitation of your rights to select and to commute and to move about, to discover the world at large. Why? Because you have nowhere else to go besides 15 minutes around you, and everything you want, your heart's desire, is within reach. People like
I
you,
feel like
homie Ricky, are giving up your rights to freedom and mobility because you think the world cares. The planet Earth will survive long after you and I are gone. After
yeah,
the asteroids comes over here and crashes down on us, the planet will still be out
yeah.
here.
I feel like most of the damage that has been done on Earth, bro, like it's far more than we can ever do in the past 20 years. Like that shit has been going like just us individually, I mean, there's so like that's why I kind of agree with speed. There's abundance, bro. Like there's a lot of opportunity out there. And it's like they want to like right now is the time to like build right now, and there's an abundance for everyone, bro. Like, I think we already are. Like, I don't know what you mean by, trying to start like new planets. I think there's only or new like societies or whatever you're trying to say, like move to Mars and stuff like that. Like, I think that's stuff for like 100, 200 years from now. So yeah, there's I don't know how you guys got to the whole conspiracy, but
Well, what do you
just
mean, right? Have you not been? Listen,
no, I
the
haven't.
Mars being like habitable and stuff like that. There was an interview. Elon Musk was talking about how do you make Mars habitable, right? And they were like, you just bomb it. You bomb the poles. You haven't seen that one?
Mm-mm.
Well, you mean come on, man. So look, pros and cons to everything, bro. Pros and cons to everything. Just because you live in these 15-minute cities, you can't talk about how people aren't able to travel. This is just talk about living conditions. They're not talking about, oh, you can't walk the Great Wall of China. You can't go to Egypt. You know what I mean? You can't go to France. And they're not saying none of that stuff. So you just limited like, oh, you can't have or want more. They're talking about it probably in the masses. There's a book called Revolt of the Masses. It's written by Spaniard, right? And then there's other topics that counteract each other and how the smartest, most intellect are best fit to run like countries and politics. And they know essentially what's best for the nations and stuff like that than just the common folk, right? But they usually do this because, the common folk, you and I, we can we appreciate these things. So for example, Steve Jobs might code the cell phone. He might invent the iPod and all these things, but it's you and me that are probably going to use it on a more daily basis than he is because his mind is so fixated on the next thing, how to make it more better, the coding, how to secure it. So while he's focusing all of this stuff on the tech and getting his hands on and engineering the CPUs, you and me are the one that are actually using it to the fullest. So I ask you, guys like Steve Jobs, shouldn't they deserve more if they're able to accomplish these things that everybody is using right on their hip? You would say, no, they get to own Montana. Motherfucker, but you get to use the resource that they build, a piece of their mind, and what they sacrificed the past 50 years for your benefit and use. But they deserve to bunk right next to you in a 15-minute city?
Why not?
What do you mean?
I mean, why not? Because isn't that the whole purpose of a 50-minute city, according to you? The right, the opportunity to salvage our resources to make the world a greener place. Well, why don't they make the ultimate sacrifice?
Well, they are.
No, they're not. They're confining you, but they're keeping everything to themselves. Again, they're not going to live in these 15-minute cities. None of these people that are proposing these things, these elites, these overlords, these technocrats, none of these people are going to be doing that. Again,
Bill Gates, he literally practiced what he preaches with his nasty ass food. Have you seen
Bill
that?
Gates, you know Bill Gates, he lives in the side of a mountain cliff in Washington, isolated about 50 miles away from everybody.
Don't worry about what he lives. Worry about what he eats. He eats his own GMO food that he's like freaking farming in these things. Like, have you seen how you would think, man, this guy is gonna be like freaking unaged? You get what I'm saying?
Well, you know,
You'd be surprised that these people probably live around that area, man.
Sam Altman is one of the richest dudes in the world, and he lives in Big Sur, and he's like the head of Chat GBT. He's a CEO. So that's another, like that dude controls a lot of shit. You guys know that? That dude, Sam Altman.
Yeah.
That dude, he's like pretty powerful too. Like he's like saying that, like AI is gonna take over everyone's jobs and stuff like that.
It's simple, guys. The elites, the powerful, the powers that be have always been about do as I say, not do as I do. That's always been their shtick. It's always been, and I can't believe, even though we have cycles of history repeating themselves, these formulas, they're presenting themselves before us. The way that they deceive, the way that they divide, the way that they manipulate, the way that they tell us what is good for us, they don't practice what they preach. And I can't believe the homie Ricky, better than that, more astute than you should be. You somehow think these people are our saviors. These people are the ones looking out for us. When the people that make the phone that you carry, homie Ricky, your iPhone, right? Those people go and blow up mountainsides for lithium and gold to make the handheld device that you have in your hand that transmits electromagnetic waves and vibrations into your body, causing cancer, right? You think those guys are looking out for you? You think Monsanto and Jeff Bezos and all these people like Bill Gates, when they poison the waterways, making Pepsi Cola, taking over the rivers of Brazil and Mexico, right? So they could sell you God given water that runs into these fertile, clean lands, introducing toxic chemicals into it and flavorants just because they taste good, that provide you type 1 diabetes and cause you to be overweight, and they profit off of those resources. Those people are the ones that you trust to do the right thing when they're telling you you will have nothing and you will be happy, when they're telling you you will have everything within a walking distance for where you reside. You will have supermarkets, you will have healthcare. We are gonna plan it all for you because we what? Love you?
Bro,
Because
that's
we
like
care.
the opposite of these people, bro. It's like, look, for every GMO facility, right? There's an organic one, Siete Foods. You get what I'm saying? So there's always the alternatives, bro. There's always these alternatives. The Zeitgeist documentary is probably like 30 years old. You get what I'm saying? All of these things. So of course, everything is gonna be a trade-off. But like I'm trying to tell you, you think you need 8 cars?
I don't think I need 8 cars,
You
but
don't need 8
if
cars.
I want to leave as my legacy a bunch of junk, guess what? That's it.
But
I did it my way, bro.
no, because then another person can be like, you know what? If I want to leave my junk and pollute the fucking forest fire and destroy everybody else, all it takes is one person to do that.
Homie Ricky, there's a difference though.
No, no, no.
I'm not harming anybody. I'm not confining anybody.
And let me give you my counter argument, because I let you talk uninterrupted, bro. You know what I'm saying? So there's always going to be a trade-off of what it is. You can be like, oh man, you're just confined to this, but you're like, you can't leave this place no more. You can't travel. You can't seek more. You can't break out of the bubble. That's under your assumption. A lot of people already feel like that right now, but they're completely wrong, because in this capitalistic society, like you're telling me, you can have more. Adimedi could have 7 TVs, only use 1. You can have 8 cars, but you only drive 3. But you don't need that. And you'd probably be happier and live a much more, like in terms of dust, and messy home than probably what you might be describing to me. You see what I'm saying? But you don't see it like that. You're going to be like, no, we're confined. We're limited. While these people seek the places of Montana. And Adimedi goes, they use it for eminent domain as they choose to fit whenever they choose to take my stuff. So you guys, what about the pros and cons? I hear what you're saying. I don't trust those people, those Coca-Cola places that take places of South Africa, and then that's how they take their clean water and then they sell it to us to make Coke or Pepsi or Dr. Pepper and all these things. I hear you. And maybe these are the persons behind this stuff. Maybe not. Maybe there is a different agenda. Hey, I don't like Gavin Newsom, bro. I dislike that dude to a passion. I didn't vote for that motherfucker at all. But you get what I'm saying? So there's pros and cons to everything.
There's always going to be pros and cons, right? There's always been.
So what I'm trying to tell you, as of what you see right now, in terms of this capitalistic society, right? In terms of why people are depressed, why they're taking all this medication, why as of right now, you still eat that candy, right? As of right now, you use that cellular device that causes that radiation. What's changed? What's different? None of that, what you're describing me right now, that's already been, in terms of the Industrial Revolution, that's been the biggest exploit of this land. You can't tell me otherwise. If we were to talk about sanitations and rate planet from planet, which would be more, what's the most cleanest out of all of them? Let me Google that real quick, separate.
Hey, Dream. How many cars do you want, bro?
What?
How many cars do you want?
How many cards? Cards of what?
Yeah, cars. How many cars do you want?
So, I mean, I have 2. I have a work vehicle and the regular car, but total at home, I think we got like 5 or 6 cars here. So that's a lot of carbon footprint, but you guys know, by I forget, like 2035 or I forget what year they're gonna ban like gas cars.
Estonia and Germany and Finland and the United Kingdom and Luxembourg of a score of EPI of 70.3. Austria, Norway, Sweden. So those are like little areas. Denmark is up there.
Yeah, we got the cleanest air.
Kingdom is the second cleanest country in the world. I don't know about that, but
our area, we got the cleanest air.
Yeah, for the most part, it is one of the cleanest airs around. That is correct, Dream. Look, guys, it's pros and cons, but there is never going to be a pro when they take away your rights to mobility. Right? As simple as that. Mobility, the act of being mobile, the act of moving around.
Bro, that's not what
That's exactly what it is. If you start, look, it's because again, the whole concept. You have to understand the whole concept, homie Ricky. You're not. I don't think you really know what a 15-minute city is. I think you just picked it up from an article and then just decided you know what it is.
No, you need to rewatch the Zeitgeist documentaries, bro. That's literally not what they preach, my guy.
It's quite simple, homie Ricky. It's in the name. The 15 minutes of walking distance provides you everything you need. Why would it have to be designed for you to have everything within reach? Because they don't want you moving further out from the 15-mile walking radius, right? What does that mean? It is an intention to limit your need to be curious. Curiosity, although it may have killed the cat, curiosity is really what opens up the mind for scientific exploration, discovery, right? The curious walk the earth. The curious wants to know what's past the shadows that are flashing in the cave, right? You know that whole story, the philosophy, those cavemen
Yeah,
were
it's
these
Plato.
puppeteers.
It's Plato, the cave.
The Plato in the cave. The curious wants to know what those shadows are. And they look over the little crevice and they see some light and they see people moving those shadows. And some of them walk towards those creators of the shadows. And some of them step on them and get past them. And then they see the light, right? They're trying to kill your curiosity. They're trying to tell you they know better than you. They're trying to plan your life. Is what I'm trying to tell you. The reason why they want to ban petroleum based products, vehicles, gas, making it exorbitant. In the state of California, they're trying to propose a $2 and something odd cent increase in taxes for gas. It's because they don't want you to move. Why don't they want you to move? Because they don't want you to be able to escape whatever they have planned for you. Homie Ricky, the machinations that you think may have some wholesomeness, some good intent, some goodwill, are really nefarious machinations meant to limit your freedoms, for you to be happy to relinquish your rights under the cause that they are good for you, that they are good for the world at large. They are, in fact, compartmentalizing humanity, keeping you caught up in cells and units that are predictable, forecasted, because they know exactly what you want out of life, because they're providing all the things that you will need according to what they think you need in 15 minutes or less. They are making you automatons that cannot think for yourselves, that have no need to move, and do not have a curious nature. Why? Because they're trying to destroy the essence of what it is to be human. And the human is a flawed, curious individual.
Sorry, I'm typing something out right now. Hold on, let me draw. Hold on. Draw.
Here I am waxing philosophic and he's twiddling his thumbs over there. Yeah. You know, what does that word even mean? Spectrofluoro, spectrophotofluorometal metricalism. I don't know what spectrofluoro, spectrophoto, spectrophotofluorometricalism is. What does that mean, Dream?
I I looked up on Google. I was like, "What's the longest words in English?" So that's why I got those. I got the anti one, and I got the spectral word. But I literally Googled those
Spectrophoto
words.
fluorometricalism. I guess
No, I
spectro would
put
mean.
lism. Lism, I've added. I
Oh,
just
okay.
added the lism.
Spectrophoto,
But the anti,
spectrophoto fluorometrical. Ah,
yeah,
okay.
the anti one, I actually, it's a it's an actual word, and I Googled it, and I was like, "Damn, that's a
Anti.
nice word." Yeah,
Anti disestablishmental, really anti
yeah, that's a word.
disestablishmentalism, mentarianism. Oh,
Rayionism,
anti this.
mentarianism.
Okay, anti disestablishmentarianism. There you go, anti
Yeah.
disestablishmentarianism. Okay, yeah. That okay, that one makes sense. But the Haney can defend the left hook nation. I don't think I don't think that one makes sense, bro.
Uh,
Mary, you're right, bro.
oh man,
Dream,
That's
are
fine,
we
bro.
giving up our rights, or the concept of a 15-minute city is giving up our rights for the greater good?
What does that even mean, man? The smart city, like I see so many smart things around the normal household, bro. Like I'm inside. I go inside attics for a living, and I go inside people's houses, so I get to
Like a
see like
thief, like a thief in the night.
nah, but I'm not thief, bro. I get to see like like literally, I've done this for about 9 years. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm way off. 9 years in solar, but that specific job, 6 years. Um, so I have, I've been over 1,000 homes, residential homes, and I've seen technology evolve, bro. Like people have the vacuums. People didn't have the electric vacuums before, So when you say smart homes and smart city, like there's already smart homes. People can actually lock their houses from remotely, and they can look at cameras remotely, and they can, like there's like people don't see it yet. It's already everywhere. I fly a drone for a living. It does my job for me. It's here already. I don't know what people are like smart cities. It's like it's I think it's already implemented. I think they already can track down our information. I already think they can. I think they're just getting ready to roll stuff out. Like
Well, first off, look, when we think about a smart home, we really do think about interconnected devices in our home that simplify our life through Bluetooth, right? Each of these connected devices are speaking to themselves in order to
but
facilitate,
you need Wi-Fi to actually do it
of course.
remotely from another city though.
Yeah, of course. But that's not spectacular, right? I mean,
Yeah, it is. That's actually big time because the past that's new. That's actually new. Like when I was graduating, that hadn't even came out yet from high school, you know? Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
would
yeah.
have
But the fact that you can turn on or off a security device, or make your fridge colder from, let's say, Japan through the push of a button, that's that's not a big deal. It's innovative. We didn't have that 10, 20 years ago. I get that, but it's really no big deal,
called
right?
Waymo cars. It's the Waymo cars that's actually innovative. Like that's right there. That's the innovative right there. That's actually a big time movement in society right there.
Yeah, yeah. So see, okay, what you're what you're describing is the ability for technology to make our lives easier.
Yeah,
That's really when we think about. So
that's what I see it as.
yeah, so the thing is this, right? It's all in the wording, right? Smart cities, smart homes. If you don't have a smart home, what's the opposite of a smart home? By implication,
Okay,
it's a stupid home, right?
I know, but what that does though is that you are getting rid of so many jobs now. This is part of AI. What you're talking about is all part of AI, and
Hmm.
they're getting ready to roll it out.
Ah.
Sam Altman is already saying it's gonna take some jobs this year. Not all of them,
And how is
some.
that smart, Dream?
Huh?
How is that
How
smart?
what?
How is leaving people unemployed without any form of payment coming
What
in, and to have the money to buy these tools, these devices? How is that a smart cycle of productivity? Who's going to
the
afford these devices?
it doesn't matter. I mean, to them it doesn't matter.
Mm.
Like you said, they're just
Because the plan is not to hire you. The plan is not to
uh,
provide you these technologies. The plan is for
yeah,
them to keep those things,
yeah.
right? And
No,
to
yeah, we're talking
control
about
you.
we're talking about the same thing, yeah. And they're actually they're getting ready to roll this stuff out. And think about how many people work in HR or like have to do things that pretty much what a computer does, like scheduling and all this other stuff, Like all those jobs, they're gonna be gone, bro. All the TA jobs, like they're gonna be gone. Like that's actually gonna be taking over, and then it's like really the construction jobs is going to be one of the last forms of labor, job, just because like there's certain things human can do that a robot just still can't do to this day, like as far as construction, you know, and yeah, so I think it's gonna, little by little take over, but I think yeah, like once we get those smart cities, that'll be in 5 years. I think that'll happen in 5 years, and it's gonna be a slowly and steady, and it's just slowly gonna everything's gonna be automated. That's what that leads to, you know.
Yeah. No, I get that, but again, what I'm trying to get to is it's the power of words, right? What the homie Ricky is alleging, what the homie Ricky's contention was, his argument was, is that these things are good, and and they're good in some sense, right? Because they make our lives easier in the sense that we don't have to exert too much effort to accomplish things, to get things done, right? But in getting things provided to us with such facility, we actually compromise our physical abilities and our creative processes. We no longer have to use our brain for the functions that it was provided to us. Why? Because the machines are doing it for us. We are no longer needing to research and read through books and things of that sort. Why? Because we can Google. And of course, because we assume it to be true, these computers, these data search bases are smarter than us. So we don't question them, right? We are being taught, we are being inculcated to think that whenever we go against a concept that has the word smart in front of it, that we are in essence being stupid. It's all in the wording. And how can it be smart to create technologies that are going to leave us unemployed, that are going to leave us devoid of purpose, right? If you cannot work and reap the rewards of your labor, what is the point of living? And what success can you feel if you've done nothing of note in your life? Everything has been done for you by robots, AI, technology, and automation. Let me just make it to you easier, Dream. Humanity is slowly being phased out for androids, combinations of humans and robotic circuitry. The sport of boxing can be replaced by robots, right? In fact, they've been trying to do that, right? We've seen movies like Mech or whatever, right? These big old mechanical robots fighting like in boxing, right? We've seen robot wars, right? We've seen those things. We've seen people have fictitious dream fights between some of the best fighters of the world. They make AI creations of these best fighters, pit them against each other to make our dreams of dream fights come true. Do you think humanity will live long if we continue on this path of automation and simplicity?
Um, you know what I think? I think by that point we're gonna have automated judges in boxing. You know, like that's how big of an impact it's gonna be. Like there's gonna be judges on the corners of boxing matches. Like I predict that. Um, but I prefer a human. But um, yeah, I think slow, little by little, just because I've been studying kind of finances and history really, just because that's what people who work in finance do. They look at presidents and they look at how things were back in the day and waves and how new technologies have came through and and affected economies, and how the numbers kind of really like show you how much of a difference as far as like finance we are in today's day and age. It's evolved so much, and I just feel like it's you see the evolution. I haven't lived long enough, but people who lived in the 80s and 70s, you just see you guys probably just see like the evolution, you know, uh, just technology to where you guys can't even like some people your age can't even grasp it, and someone like you has actually came a far way to learning this new technology. You know,
I mean, I'm not that old, bro. I mean,
but it's
I
no,
saw this technology coming up.
oh,
We were watching and watching TV shows, movies, and
no,
listening to radio station
but
programs that were talking about this technology before it even existed.
yeah, but you remember, but you remember when like you were riding like the horses and stuff like that. I'm just kidding, but
I was in a buggy driven by a horse and
you
carriage.
were right. You remember you were lighting the candles, and then your mom told you to turn off the lights, and you had to blow the candle.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
I was
But
trying to start fires with 2 rocks, bro.
nah. But anyways,
Good night, Arimedi. Wonderful, wonderful
yeah,
having you here. Thank you for coming over here, giving us some chuckles. You were absolutely awesome. You and the Mexican G. Thank you very much for the comedic effect. It was incredible as always. You guys should go on. You guys should go on tour, man. You guys would be incredible stand-up comedians. The one-liners like Rodney Dangerfield. You guys are amazing. But have a wonderful night, Arimedi. We'll talk soon.
yeah. Anyways, yeah. Good night, Automati. But what's it called? With this whole automation thing, bro. Like I've been learning, finances, and I'm trying to like, bank in on this next bull run. But what I've realized is that how waves of new technology can come into play, and there's been people who kind of predict this in their own way, but they don't really, no one can really predict what's going on with technology to a T, but they actually can see what's going on, and how new developments affect the economy. We're in a different economy now than we were in 2008. Just so much has happened, so much new developments like Bitcoin has happened and crypto and all that. So I think all that kind of has been affecting it. um but there's been presidents, bro, like remember the dot-com boom. I guess in the dot-com boom, that's what's happening right now. In the dot-com boom, we're essentially towards the end of the dot-com boom, except with crypto. And it's actually it's bigger than the dot-com boom. The dot-com boom set us up to the set up the housing market crash, and then the housing market crash also dominoed effect into the GameStop stocks going up and all that. That's what kind of it led to. So all that is just evolving, you know. Like we're in a gold rush right now. So I've told you that in your podcast, but we're like in this digital gold rush. And what's gonna happen if all these people that are saying they're gonna be rich, they're gonna be rich? What's gonna happen if there's too many rich people? You know, like there's gonna be too many rich people, and I'll also hear people saying, um, I hear also people saying people aren't eventually people aren't going to be working 9 to 5s. People are going to be working less, if not, no jobs, like they're just going to get good benefits from being a good human being, so that's what I'm like. That's what I hear a lot of people say that who are like in finances and all that through like other YouTube channels, and I correlate all that to what's going on in the real world, and I see presidents and how it's in history, and I'm like, dude, we're in this crazy time right now. Honestly, we're in this very crazy time where you're gonna be like, dang, I didn't know all that was going on, there's so much going on with crypto, and it's affecting, like, so many people are living their daily lives like nothing's really like going down, but in reality, I feel like shit's about to pop off again. You know, like COVID and shit. You know, knock on wood. I don't think nothing like COVID's gonna happen again, but like something like to that drastic measure. You know.
Yeah. So the thing about the you know the cryptocurrency bubble, right? Obviously, that is a bubble. I don't think the cryptocurrency bubble will be one caused by, let's say, uh, Bitcoin, right? Because apparently Bitcoin is not regulated and it's not tethered to the market, and you can buy it, and it's not necessarily on Robin Hood or any of those other
Well,
things
did
you
you
have
hear?
to mine it, right? And
Yeah.
here's the thing, though, there's a limited, if you can believe it, this digital currency is limited in how many there have been produced, and there won't be any more produced.
Yeah.
So if there's going to be some kind of a bubble, it's not going to have anything to do with that, right? Because they're trying to manage it in a way that they minimize the risk, the incentive for the valuation, the increased valuation, the increased appreciation of that coin, Bitcoin in particular, is one that's protected because of the uh, internal production format, which is we're not going to produce anymore. So they're trying to handle it similar to the concept of gold, right? Gold is a finite material. There's probably all kinds of gold underneath our feet, but as far as us having access to it, we really have to go through extremes to mine the earth to find it. And then it's not in such abundance. It was actually created upon the expansion of the Milky Way, upon seconds
Oh,
after the big explosion that was the Big Bang.
hold
There
on.
won't be any more
No, you
gold
don't.
created.
Yeah, but okay. I've been doing a lot of research on Bitcoin, bro. A lot, and there's more implications, or not implications, but there's more things that this thing helps with, and there's a lot. There's a lot of that goes with it, bro. Like there's the Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin is fully rolled out, right? If Bitcoin becomes our daily dollar, they say once that happens, the carbon emissions, it's going to affect the way we print paper. It's going to affect the way we send emails. It's going to affect so much, bro. There's going to be so much loose change because it's so decentralized that the you know how like you pay for something, you get taxed on it.
Mhm.
And then they give you a fee for the transaction or whatever, and it's like more taxes. It's like Bitcoin saves all that extra change, you know. And then it's just so much going on, bro. Like technology, NFTs, that shit right there. They're the ones that are actually that have utility. They're actually going to become like forces of nature in the finance world, bro. Like they're like AI agents. There's gonna be AI agents running this world. That's what that's gonna go down to, and all that is gonna save money on paper and on everything. And we're just gonna build buildings taller because of the population, you know. So yeah, bro. Like Bitcoin is gonna save like it's gonna like affect the carbon emissions. Like that's how big Bitcoin is, bro. Like it's too late. Like this shit is going it's going down. Like Bitcoin is going to run, it's gonna be the world's currency, and that's where that's heading to. Venezuela put half of their half
Yeah.
the country of Venezuela put I don't know how many billions of dollars of their wealth into Bitcoin, and guess what? They did that 6 months ago. They're up, like they doubled, almost tripled their money, dude. Venezuela is gonna be one of the most powerful countries in the world because of Bitcoin. But hold
Look,
on, and then Trump. Did you hear what he just said today? He
no.
goes, like never before. It's gonna go up like never before. Like that's what he said,
Mhm.
bro. Like that's like it's too late. It's too late. The rocket ship is lit and it's gonna go up. And but that
Look, bro,
is gonna
it's quite
impact
simple,
so much.
right?
It's gonna impact
It's
so
quite
much though.
simple. It's already impacted so much. What I'm trying to get at is this, right? I don't know much about cryptocurrency, right? But if I can't touch it, as far as I'm concerned, I don't even. It doesn't exist, right?
We already can
Telling
touch it.
me you can't touch Bitcoin.
Yeah, I can. I can. I
How?
can. I can send it to my bank. Yeah, I have ways to do that. And there's other
What do you mean?
ways to.
No. You have a physical Bitcoin?
No, there's crypto banks that I can
No,
go
no,
to.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about something tangible, something
Yes,
physical.
dude. Yes, it's a coin. Bitcoin is a coin. It's a physical coin that you know. But one is worth like 90. It's getting to 100,000 now. It was worth
How many
16
Bitcoins are there?
billions.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
a billion Bitcoins.
a lot, bro. Like there's a specific number. It's such a long number. Yeah. So there's a lot, bro. Like I don't know the specific number, but every year.
Listen, man, I
Yeah.
don't think you know what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
There's no such thing as a physical Bitcoin.
Yeah, you can.
No,
Yeah, you
Bitcoin
can.
is a virtual currency. As a form of virtual currency, Bitcoin exists solely online, functioning through a transparent ledger known as Bitcoin blockchain. Each transaction is recorded on this distributed ledger, ensuring all the transactions remain secure and visible. So, what you got to understand, just because you see an image of a Bitcoin, that is just emblematic of what Bitcoin would look like if it was in physical form. But in fact is you cannot have a virtual currency while retaining physical coins. You
Mhm.
cannot ensure secure and invisible transactions if you have a physical coin. The privacy, and in fact the term crypto comes from the security behind it, the obfuscation and the darkness, the mysterious nature of virtual reality, is that the reason that Bitcoin has any kind of favor in the world is because it is untaxed, it is unregulated, and you can trade with whoever you want, whenever you want, outside the auspices of federal government and other types of regulatory institutions. Right? Once you start making Bitcoin physical, it loses that allure because now they can actually track it. In fact, they can take it from you. And one of the
No, they
inherent
can't. They can't take
benefits
it
of
from you. That's
Bitcoin,
a lie. That's a lie.
because they have, well, they could if it was physical.
No, they can't. They can't
Yes,
take
they
it out of your
could.
wallet. Hold on. No, they can't. They can't. They don't know They don't know your security password. That's the thing. That there's a 9-letter word security that only you have. They don't have access to any of that. And then on
Okay,
top of that,
let's say that you want to cash it. Let's say
hold
that
on.
you want to cash your
Hold on.
coin. Are they going to give you a
SEC.
coin?
Yes, they
No,
will
they're
give you.
not.
They will send. There's a form of a Bitcoin that you can get. You have to send them one Bitcoin, and there is a crypto bank that will send you one crypto Bitcoin, and they will send it to you in the mail. And there's crypto banks that will do that. So that's the
Dream,
thing.
listen.
Hold on.
Oh my
SEC.
God, you guys,
Hold
you
on.
really have to Google really quickly, bro. That does not exist, man.
Hold on, hon. Let me go back. Let me go back to you because it's still blowing your mind. It's like, well, let's skip the fact that it's physical or not. All right. It doesn't have to be physical. All right. This is the thing. Hold on. With the SEC already regulated it. And let me tell you another thing. There's already retirement ETFs for this stuff. There's already retirement funds for the Bitcoin that people have actually put in a record amount of money into it. There's already influx of money on Bitcoin ETFs and retirement funds that old people are putting their money in. They're putting their money in, and they're actually, gonna they're gonna thrive off of this shit.
You're
So
not
like
understanding what I'm telling you, though.
it's just a
I'm
new
not
way of
telling you. I'm not
finance.
telling you if.
But it's bigger than it's a new way of finance. That's all it is, bro. I will tell a dude that I know in Chicago that DMs me, and he will explain this to you what's going on. And he works in IT, or he's been working in IT for the past 30 years. So he gets all this shit, and he will explain it to you. And I will tell him to hop onto this right here and be like, oh, like this is what he's saying, because he can explain it way better, but it's just simply a new way of finance. And simply they're just trying to get rid of paper, and there's also a bigger, the government made it. The United States government made it. They just gave it a random person, Nakamoto, an identity, a fake identity. Oh man, this guy. Well, I'm hopping up too then. Yeah. Anyways, bull runs this year. This guy doesn't know what to say because he's uneducated. But yeah, man. Peace out, man.
Yo, where everybody go? Let me see. Guest. Add to.
That was the weirdest thing, bro. Like literally, I've never seen somebody choke so quick, bro. Like I was like, what? My phone died. I'm
That's
like, what?
funny, bro. Go, man.
Hey, homie. Okay, okay. Literally, bro. Like you saw that my phone died, man. And then this guy thinks I took it personal that I that I wasn't getting across to the guy, and he thinks, man, I've never seen anybody choke so hard. Literally, we're all family here, right? I mean, who do we have? Mr. Vince Vargas, New Country. Who knows out there somebody that's commenting or not commenting? Um, David V. Whoever's out there listening, right? They've been here the whole time. They're day oneers, right? I don't understand why this guy would think that he can't hold a show if he knows everybody. Everybody's cool, man. I've never seen. Oh, okay, so you left. Okay, I'm out. Like, man, homie Ricky, do you know? Just to wrap up this live, man, we have to at least be respectful of our listeners, right? Do you know that cryptocurrency? There's no such thing as a physical coin, especially for Bitcoin. You know that, right?
Yeah, correct. But they give you your basically your information like on a USB drive, and then you can go to these ATM. Basically, you've seen the Bitcoin ATM machines, and you can like
Yeah.
withdraw and take money and put it onto like this USB stick, bro.
Hmm.
So it kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
exists, and now it's I don't know, man. It's very interesting world, but I just feel like isn't that what a debit card is?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to tell him, though, right? What I was trying to express to Dream is not necessarily because he thought I had a problem with understanding that cryptocurrency actually has some value, that it actually has purchasing power. That was not what I was indicating at all. I was just
Right,
trying to
right.
tell him that I have an issue with anything that I cannot hold in my hand. Like, for example,
I
you
hear
can
you. I hear
say
you. Like
that,
coin and dollar bills. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Gold,
yeah, you
silver.
yeah, yeah, and look, for the most part, right? For the most part, look, the majority of all people in the United States of America, about 90% of us, we don't carry not even $1 in our back pocket, right? Because we carry everything in our debit cards and our credit cards, right? It's just safer to walk around with a piece of plastic that if should we ever get robbed or we would lose or whatever, we don't actually lose some physical currency, right? We have a card that is protected by pin numbers, personal identification numbers, and all these other things like fingerprint identity and whatnot, to make sure that our money is safely kept and accessible only when we want it to. I understand that whole concept, right? And for the most part, you can say, well, look, for the person that has a job that gets paid in direct deposit, your $2,000 a week gets deposited into your bank account. You don't actually see that. And if you never go to an ATM to retrieve hard physical greenbacks, you might only transact and purchase through a debit card. You may never actually see a physical dollar. I get that, which is really very simple, right? It's the same thing as, let's say, trading in cryptocurrency or paying with Bitcoin. You don't have to have physical currency in order to actually transact. I get that. But what I'm trying to say is if I wanted to, I could go to my bank and I could withdraw $5,000, $10,000, $30,000 or more in physical
Listen, Donnie,
greenbacks.
you're out of your element. Wrap it up, man. I got stuff to do.
Why don't you go to sleep? I hold this show, man.
Yeah, but I have
Just
to
kidding.
log
That.
off though, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
get some.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
can save it for tomorrow or something. But no, man, you guys did a
Okay.
great job. It was very informative listening to your contrarian views and
Man,
smart things.
I was on
Very
a
great
roll, but you
points.
guys just wanna give up your rights like corporate slaves, and man, good little gentlemen that should be patted on the back and given a comb over cowlick haircut, right? Okay, ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen,
man, what the fuck?
ladies and gentlemen, for Dream 123 was obviously upset and thinking that I'm mad at him for whatever, and homie Ricky, our interlocutor and your co-host and fellow space traveler, Warp Speed. I do bid you to wall of health that you are saint of mind. Engage.
Alrighty, guys. Y'all have a good night. Not too sure when we'll be live once again. But Vince, El Pachuco, the Mexican G, I know, Adi, you guys took off already. But have a good night, guys. Vince, thank you for that Gabe Flores, G Squad Nation. I'm going to definitely tune in. I really always love the production. I just love that kid's story. So can't wait to see his comebacks. But have a good night, folks.